Hi everybody, Renegade 67 and or 68 here with some more Let's Play and or stream Fates tonight, Unlimited Playworks of the Blind Variety. So it's like done, we're like done kind of. We like did it, it's over. However, it's not entirely over because, it seems like there's like an alternate potential ending in this timeline. Maybe that's a thing. That's not what I'm looking for right away. I may stumble onto it though. However, the first two things I want to do is there's a couple Taiga Dojos I got that I didn't see because, if you were there, you saw the reason. If you weren't, I guess I could talk about it. I thought there might be spoilers. There weren't spoilers, I don't think. But it seemed like there would be, because I'm like, that'll come up in the game, I'm sure. And then it didn't come up in the game, so I guess it wasn't spoilers. But it was framed like I feel like I'm not wrong for thinking it could have been spoilers. But anyways, we'll watch those. Before that, if I'm to compare the two timelines real quick, like Timeline 2 and Timeline 1, and say which I like more between Fate and Unlimited Blade Works, even though I do think there's definitely certain really strong points on Unlimited Blade Works, I am a big fan of Future Shiro and Shiro, but I like Archer. Archer is one of the characters I've been looking out for a lot. He's definitely up there, probably my top 4 characters. Like, if I had to pick a top 4 favorite characters, Ilya, Shinji, Kirei, and Future Shiro probably sounds correct. And past Shiro's getting up there too now, but for now I'm going to count them as separate people. Those are probably my top 4 if I had to pick a top 4. Yeah, as much as I enjoyed some of those, I would say I still rank Timeline 1 higher in terms of the overall thing at the moment. I do think Timeline 1 has a slow start, but it's not really bad. It was bad at the time because I didn't really have an understanding of how fucked up Shiro was and how the point was him getting less fucked up. And so that makes me appreciate him when he's more fucked up in hindsight. Even if I was, a little iffy about it at the time. It has a slow start, but I think it has a strong middle and a strong ending, Timeline 1. Timeline 2, I think, has a strong beginning and a strong ending. And then the middle, it's not even just slow. I think it's kind of weak. And I think a lot of it has to do with the Caster Chronicles, as it were. Like, with no other enemy have we spent so much time just dealing with the same enemy continuously. And, I don't think it's necessarily a problem for one enemy to be dealt with for a long time just because, they're not, like, it's fine if Caster's not the final boss. There could potentially be potential to deal with them for a long time. However, I feel like the interactions aren't really long enough to... It's like sort of a macro scale of like, well, when do you want a fight to be short and sweet, and when do you want it to be long? If you have a lot of interesting parts and things to do with it, sure, you can make it long. And the more you've built up to a fight, the more you hopefully want to have parts and things to do with it. However, it's sort of like a bigger version of that. If you have interesting, cool things to do, sure, make it long. But I feel like Caster didn't have enough interesting stuff to make her that long, if I'm going to be honest. I enjoyed the first battle with Caster, where, the Shiros faced off against Caster at the Rito Temple. That was fun. I enjoyed the last battle against Caster, where, Lancer had to, like, distract Archer while, Shiro and Rin went to fight them, and then Rin did her cool thing where she got up and close and started punching Caster. That was a cool fight, too. I liked those. I liked the beginning and end of the Caster fight. I think everything in between is kind of... there's basically 6 interactions with Caster. I counted them. The first one's the first fight, the 6th one's the last fight. The second one would be when she swoops in when you think you're gonna fight Ryder. So the game basically steals a potential Ryder fight from you, which makes her a bit of an anticlimax. Now, this plays into Shinji's character arc in Timeline 2, which is fun, so it's okay for that reason. But also, it doesn't really explain why Kazuki is there in this timeline and Caster interrupts when she didn't in Timeline 1. You just kind of have to go, I guess it's different this time, cuz. Which goes against something that I enjoy about the way Timeline 2 has been, in that you can sort of see the differences, some of them at least. But also, I thought, okay, so Caster replaced Ryder, but there's still going to be a cool fight, right? Not really. There was some Scully fighting, and just when I felt it was building up to something bigger, it stopped instantly. Then the third interaction with Caster was when we confronted Kazuki. I've already said how I think the Kazuki Saber fight's kind of boring. It was sort of like just a bunch of explaining of how, oh, Kazuki's winning. Holy shit, that's weird. He's still winning. And it just kind of went on. And it's like, I thought, why not bring Archer there? This is an ambush, right? You're ambushing 2 enemies, or an enemy. Well, granted, you don't necessarily know Caster's going to be there with Kazuki. But I still think, why not bring Archer there? He probably could help a lot. You'd be 2-on-1 if Caster did show up. And what do you know? Caster shows up and it's a hard-fought battle. When maybe they could have had a better chance if Archer just been there from the start, etc., etc., etc. Maybe not. Maybe Archer was already planning to kill Shiro and had some long con, but they didn't know that. Because with Archer they'd win, duh. Well, yeah, that's my problem, is that, you know, I want them to not win because the enemies are smart, not because they're stupid. I've went over this before. Or if they're gonna be stupid, have it be a point that they're stupid. Shiro, there's a point that he's stupid. I don't feel like Rin grew too much in this timeline. That's sort of another issue. But, you know, if the point is that she's stupid and she'll get smarter, and she kind of did to an extent, but not too much, there's some Rin development. I will say that I think there is some Rin development, but it's very subtle, I would argue. Wasn't Rin mad at Archer at that point? Yeah, I guess there's something to it there. But, I don't know if the madness is really, I don't know, maybe if we could have dove deeper into her psychology, because that's the thing, a lot of it was under the surface, you just kind of just had to assume. I feel like Rin does have a character arc, but it's one we just have to assume happens, because they give us very little of the substance of what it was. I think a lot of it is subtext, and I wish some more of it was text. But as far as, the fourth interaction with Caster is when she steals Saber, and I've talked about how, oh, cool, Saber's a bad guy, and then we never really fight Saber. Like, we get her back before she does anything against us. She's like a bargaining tool that could potentially be used against us, but beyond that, she's never actually used against us. I think that's lame. And then the fifth interaction, where Rin and, Shiro, after getting separated from Rin, confronts Rin some more, and then Rin, like, you know, he saves Rin when Archer switches sides, and to me, I feel like, you know, that's more of the same of what happened before when Caster took Saber. It's sort of just repeating the points. There's a point to it, but it could have been done in a more interesting fashion, I think. And then they go off to I'm like, finally, some not Caster, and they go off to not Caster, and then that ends almost instantly, and then Lancer joins, and then they're like, let's go face Caster, and I'm like, I was looking forward to not Caster for a while, and it was over so quickly. I do think from that point, when Lancer joins up with them, that's when it gets strong again. That's when the strong end would start, I would say. But I think Caster there was a little too much milling about. I feel like some of that time could have instead been spent on some Ilia Berserker, because, you know, they tried to give Ilia a sad death, but you don't really know her from this timeline. You know her from timeline 1. But this connection, it's like the only thing they do with her in this timeline, which is weird, because early on, the first real change is where Archer is part of the Berserker fight, when he wasn't in timeline 1, so that meant when Ilia left, and she was like, oh, Archer, you're interesting, I might follow up on you. Nope, she never follows up. We don't see her again until she's put in that sad position. There's no middle ground. But yeah, so I enjoy Future Shiro's arc, but Future Shiro, like, compared to Saber and Shiro and how they affect each other in timeline 1, Future Shiro and past Shiro had a big effect on each other, but Future Shiro's not around that much compared to Saber in timeline 1. So it's like, the development's there, but a lot of the time when Future Shiro's not around, it's just like, well, at that point, it's usually trying to bond Shiro with Rin, but then not much of an arc is created there. There's a bit of an arc with Rin, but it's so under the surface, and they build up the idea of, oh, Rin's gonna make Shiro have fun. But then when they get to the epilogue, it's like, oh, she'll make him have fun eventually. She tried to make him have fun on that one date thing, but, like, you know, Shiro still, by the end of the date, was like, I don't deserve this. And Rin never really proved through the course of the visual novel that he did deserve it. Ilia was much of the first timeline's focus. Sure. I just think that there were so many days spent... I don't mind Ilia not being a huge part of timeline 2. I prefer, of course, for her to be a huge part of every timeline, because I'm a big fan. But, I don't mind it from that perspective. It's just... It's similar to my problem with, I guess, Assassin in timeline 1 versus timeline 2. Is it similar? I don't know. My problems are, with Ilia, it's like, she's like, oh, I'll be sure to follow up on you. And then it's several days later with no following up. And then we finally see her, and she gets quickly killed. Like, if we had seen her again sooner, or got an idea of what the heck she was doing in the meantime, then I wouldn't mind her showing up for such a quick part and dying. But being several days away after saying, oh, I'll follow up on you, bugs me. Assassin is another thing. that makes me confused. This isn't necessarily a down point for Timeline 2, it's sort of just a question mark. Because Timeline 1, Assassin has this cool battle with Saber, and we're like, oh, that'll go somewhere, and then it doesn't, and that's unfortunate. Timeline 2, it goes somewhere, but a lot of that battle's, it's more abridged in Timeline 2, because we already saw it in Timeline 1, and we're to assume it's more or less the same battle. And yet, Assassin stays around in Timeline 2, even though that Timeline 2 lasts one extra day, whereas in Timeline 1, he doesn't. And it's like, does that mean he was actually killed? Or because, like, wouldn't he have still had the drive to have the rematch? It just feels weird. Like, he should have been actually killed, and if he was actually killed, why? And if he wasn't actually killed and lasted, is it because of subtle knowledge between timelines? Don't answer that. But otherwise, I don't see much of a reason why Assassin would have faded in Timeline 1, but not in Timeline 2. Other than convenience for the plot, because Saber needed someone to fight in Timeline 2, but she already had someone to fight in Timeline 1. For the big final battle, that is. But, I guess I've covered most of my big points. I think Castor was a bit of a drag in Timeline 2, ignoring the beginning and ending. I think Ilya, the way she was handled, I'm not a huge fan. I think Future Shiro was cool with his development with past Shiro, but he wasn't around enough, and Rin's development wasn't substantial enough for, in my mind, to make it up for the prolonged back and forth that Saber and Shiro had in Timeline 1, and Rin had some stuff too, and Ilya had some stuff too. Shinji had some cool stuff in Timeline 2. There's definitely some good points to Timeline 2. But I think overall I would prefer the Timeline 1 package. However, enough talking about that. Let's do some bad ending stuff. So the first thing I want to check is this, because it's our final choice, the last minute choice. However, that's not the first thing we're going to do, because we have Taiga Dojos. That was what I was actually initially planning to do when I started today, and I forgot that I have Taiga Dojos. There's two obvious Taiga Dojos I want to check, because they're the ones I was going to do anyways, and then didn't. They were these ones. This is an integrate... Is he Issei Master? Hard to tell. Definitely Puppet Doll. Right, there was this, and then there's this one here, where it's a But Thou Must Taiga Dojo. So, let's play this one slightly from the top. Oh yeah, that's another thing that bugs me in Timeline 2. The frickin' scouting for information about gosh damn Castor's Master, and then it's like, oh, Issei, oh, of course, you're a trap, I have to avoid you, and then he still gives you the answer that tells you it's Kazuki anyways. I hate that so much. Anyways. Dashes. Maybe I should ask Issei about it. I guess I'll ask him. Pointless. No, of course you have to ask him so you can die. Don't skip. We need to get shanked by Issei. I guess I'll ask him about it. She's not one to reveal herself to the ones living at the temple, but I might be able to get some clues. Issei, can you tell me about this unfamiliar woman? Is she from a foreign country, or is her face covered with something like a turban? Why not skip, though? Everyone here remembers everything? I don't necessarily remember everything, and I like reviewing with the thought in my mind now that, like, you know, even though this choice wouldn't guarantee me on this route, or what does guarantee... I don't know, I like reviewing, okay, Tapoima? Why not skip, though? They ask the renegade, as if the renegade... I mean, I will sometimes skip, but here, like, you know... I like to set the scene. We would kick out such a strange person. I don't know why you're asking. She's a legitimate guest. Sure got shanked. I want to see the moment in action. My brother is happy that she might be an evil woman, because he's evil too. That's interesting. I am interested in a potential relationship between Issei and Kazuki. I wonder if they'll go into that in Timeline 3, or if I'm seeing something that isn't there. My brother is happy that she might be an evil woman, but strangely, I strangely like her. That is strange. I've only talked to her once, but she's a good person. Sure. That's definitely a warning signs that you like a woman. It's worth it seeing how you're praising a woman. It's a fun scene. Doesn't notice herself. I wonder how true this is. Or if he's seeing something that's not there at all. Don't say such a thing, you fool! I admire a part of her that she doesn't notice herself. Is it the part where she's actually a good person, but you already think she's a good person? I still wonder if Issei actually sees something real or not here. I cannot fall in love with the lover of the one I respect as my older brother. Okay, now here's where you get shanked. Issei suddenly stops and lowers his head.
No.
Ah! I don't know if he felt dizzy or what, but Issei falls on the table and does not move. What's wrong, Issei? Is it anemia or something?
Yeah.
No, it's not that I feel bad. He raises himself real fast. I laugh thinking that he's acting like a coiled doll. Oh, the shank!
Issei.
I look at Issei without looking at my slashed stomach. So, it seems, based on what Castor says in her talk, it's more the fact that, that he mentions as Castor, whereas based on the way the conversation was going, it was more based on the reveal that Kazuki was Castor's lover, as if the reveal that Kazuki is the master, but the other timeline sort of reveals like Kazuki might be the master anyways, but I guess in a roundabout way, it still seems a little BS. But, that's some good water. I look at Issei without looking at my slashed stomach. And this is another thing. This never comes out in the proper pathway. Like, this reminds me of Timeline 1 when I was looking for bad endings, and I found that Saber got mind-controlled by Castor. I remember thinking, oh, that's interesting. I'm sure this mind-controlling will come up in some way in Timeline 2. And then it did. But, like, here, it turns out Issei is mind-controlled. It never comes up. Maybe that means it's gonna come up in Timeline 3. I feel like it has to, but, like, I still don't like how we cheated around it in this time without even knowing it was a thing. Bugs me. Maybe it'll come up in Timeline 3, and maybe they'll further explain how it works. But it seems like they're going to explain it in the Taiga Dojo to an extent, which says to me they aren't going to explain how it works, so I don't know. We'll see. I look at Issei without looking at my slashed stomach. You fell for my trap. He meets someone who inquires about me. Me should be Castor. I guess. But he still brought up Castor in the... That was the whole thing. He still brought up Castor. Even if he wasn't directly about Castor, asking about Castor, and only found out through association, it'd be weird the trap wouldn't work in that case. But... Here's someone else's voice from Issei's mouth. When I realized the voice is the servant I met through the temple, why couldn't they actually play the Castor's voice during that line? Lazy. I do not need this doll anymore. And then he shanks himself. Great. Oops. Dashes. My mind fades from too much blood loss. Like, the only way, like, this has to be, I feel like, I don't know, I guess he doesn't. I feel like Shiro would need to find out about, this is what my thought was back in the day when I saw, when I saw that this bad ending, my thought was, okay, Shiro needs to find out that Issei is being mind-controlled somehow. He needs to find out maybe more people are being mind-controlled by Castor and find some way around it so he can save his buddy. As things are, he never knows that he saves his buddy. He did, but he doesn't know it. And I'm like, I want him to know it. Hopefully in Timeline 3 he gets a chance to know it, as it were. For him to get a chance to know it, I feel like the potential would be something like, I don't know, he would either have timeline knowledge and bad ending timeline knowledge, because it never comes up during the course of the regular timeline. But either that, or Shiro runs into another member of the temple, like a no-name, and sees them shank himself when he asks too much, and then he's like, I have to save Issei, or, you know, etc., etc., etc. Why did he even have a knife on him? Maybe it was all part of the plan. Maybe it was just a knife for his lunchbox. I wonder if maybe it was a knife to use on his lunch. I don't know. My mind fades from too much blood loss. Would he be allowed to carry a sharp knife like that to school, though? Maybe if it's, like, kind of dainty? Even a dainty knife, you can potentially shank someone lethally. Although, I don't know how lethally, given that it's Shiro. He wouldn't be expecting it at all, though, so maybe Avalon would just peace out in a situation like this, but... My mind fades from too much blood loss. Depending on the school, they might just allow sharp knives. The wound reaching my organs is not causing my consciousness to fade. It's seeing Issei. He shanked him very easily. Yeah, that does suggest sharp knife. My brain that wants to deny the scene in front of me freezes my consciousness. Issei falls down before me, not knowing what went on. I collapse on the floor from my knees. I do not hold my wound, and I blankly stare at a friend who is now a corpse. So sad. I want to see him prevent that sadness. Knowingly prevent that sadness. Somehow. But he never knows in Timeline 2. He never knows. Okay, Tiger Dojo. Yes.
Yay! That's my first guess!
What she said. Yay, guy something bomb. Now reminded that at the end of Timeline 1, I feel like the way the Tiger Dojos are introduced may have changed. Maybe, and that's something. But in Timeline 1, they definitely made it a point during the last Tiger Dojo. It's gonna be all different during the Tiger Dojo's next timeline, and they were lying. They were dirty liars. The Tiger Dojos are still just in the dojo. How lame. And what's going around in the background exactly? Death God Mokos! Oh no, not Death God Mokos. I remember him. I read a package to open unexpectedly. I don't carry knives just in case for that. I don't carry sharp knives with me just in case for stuff like that, yeah. Just keep them in the kitchen. Who wants to go rummaging around for scissors? A package open unexpectedly. I mean, if it's unexpected, you may not want to open it, depending. It could be an invitation to something like the Liar's Game. But I would just go for scissors. And I generally wouldn't do it when I get the package immediately. I would wait till, you know, I'm not in the middle of something. Ooh. If I carried everything I might need. Yeah, you're way too much you might want to carry. Pocket knives. I don't normally carry a knife on me in circumstances, but I can see the argument to doing it. Like, I mean, you never know. Maybe you'll get mind controlled and need to shank someone. If you don't have a knife in that situation, what are you gonna do, right? You'd be disappointing caster in that situation. I don't think it's weird, but I don't do it. I can see the logic. I wouldn't do it though.
誰彼構わずむやみに聞けばいいってものじゃないのよエンドどうだったかな
Okay, I hate this Tiger Dojo's first line. It only takes a second to be careful, but the injury could last a lifetime. How is this dead end that teaches you it's good to not ask? It's not good to ask just anyone, but it's the same person we asked to get the right answer. Grumble!
あまりにも理不尽&唐突なしこれぞフェイトって感じで最高であります師匠
It was such an irrational and sudden death. This is exactly what I expect from fate, and it's surely splendid. Maybe someone else will get mind controlled and you need to shank them? Well, if they're mind controlled, I won't want to shank them, probably. Depending on the circumstances, I might still end up having to shank them. I'm not a superhero who tried to save everyone if, you know, puts my life in too much jeopardy, but, you know, last resort. But still, that's the same logic as everyone should own a gun, because if the world suddenly goes into a zombie apocalypse, you'll want a gun. Like, no, thank you. Maybe the spell could tell if Shiro was digging for info. I feel like, to me, if that's the case, the game should tell us that, given the way, like, I'm not saying the logic isn't potentially there, but given the way the game is like, oh, you get it from Issei. And then you still get it from Issei. The game needs to give us more details, otherwise, get it a different way, is my whole thing. The exact mechanics aren't that important to me, unless they're going to explain the exact mechanics. Get it a different way. It was such an irrational and sudden death, it's exactly what I expect from fate, and it's surely splendid. Yes, but we cannot forget about the sacrifices. Let us give Ryudo-kun a 3-second silent prayer. Ichi, ni, san. Oops, I spoke. This 3-second part is great, Master. It's nice having Ilya around in the Taiga dojos because she's not around at all. I like that. Perfect. Ah yes, here's the spoiler that isn't a spoiler, I guess. So, Ilya-chan, what is going on with the people at Ryudo Temple? Great question, Ilya-chan. What's going on? Tell me.
が作った人工的なレーズを組み込まれていて
They have this artificial command spell put in them. Oh, okay, cool. And this is something the game never explains? I guess it doesn't. If Timeline 3 explains this, then it's still a spoiler, but whatever, fuck it. I'm gonna be spoiled in that case.
キャスターの参加条を破ったり破るやつに出会ったら骨人形みたいに一つの命令を実行するだけの人間になるの
This feels like genuine plot exposition that you get in the main plot. They become this thing that executes this one command when they find someone that breaks one of Castor's 3 rules. Oh boy, 3 rules? Is this gonna give us the specifics in the gosh dang Tiger Dojo? I would love that. That's sarcastic, by the way. It is the thing called sarcasm. Become this thing that executes this one command when they find someone that breaks one of Castor's 3 rules. They have this artificial command spell put in them. She's Castor, so I'm willing to believe she can do something like that.
あいつ道具を作るのうまいからシローだってあいつに捕まったら魔術補佐の限定霊装にされかね
She's
ない
good at
わ
making things. If she ever captures Shiro, I bet she'll turn him into a formal tool just to support her magic. If she ever captures Shiro. A formal tool. Well, yeah, in the one bad ending. The other one later on, she does capture me. So spoilers. No, I don't mind that much about that.
悪キャスターは悪認定
Evil! I acknowledge Castor is evil! How dare you, Taiga? Didn't you even play the game? You know, Castor has a tragic backstory, and will likely be redeemed by the superhero Shiro in Timeline 3. Spoilers.
他人を己が意のままにしようなどと教育者として許しません
As a teacher, I cannot forgive anyone that use others as they wish. As a teacher? But not as a human being?
別にそれだけで悪いっていうのはどうかと思うけど
I don't know about calling her evil just because of that. Because you're a teacher. Oh, you're agreeing with me. Or calling her evil because she would because it's Elia. A formal tool to support her magic. Elia would also mess with Shiro too, of course.
キャスターは確かに小物で臆病で狡猾だけど根はまだ悪人になりきれてないし
Excuse me? Am I supposed to believe this? I mean, now I believe it because I've seen the future, but at the time, if I watched this at the time, was I supposed to believe this? Or was I supposed to be like, oh, that's Elia being Elia? Well, let's see. Because that would be a spoiler. Unless they brush her off, I suppose. It's true that Castor is weak, sly, and cowardly, but she's not truly bad on the inside. Disagree. I mean, I know that she plays the part of being bad really well, but at the moment, I would disagree. Theoretically, if I watched this at the moment.
なぜかような魔女をかばう弟子1号
Why are you sticking up for such a witch?
何か思うところがあるの
Do you have something in mind?
別にそういうわけじゃないよ
Huh? No. Alright, they're a little half and half about it. Taiga fights her on it.
私はただ魔術で誰かを拘束して
Oh,
も
okay.
そ
That
れ自体は
I'll
悪いこと
accept
じゃ
that.
ないって言い
I'll
たい
accept
だけ
that
だったり
answer. I just want to say it's not bad to bind someone with magic. She wanted to do it with Shiro after all. I will accept that reasoning.
あ、思い出したイリアちゃんもっとひどいことシロにやってきたじゃない
Oh, I remember. You've done worse to Shiro.
チキショーバレたか昆虫証
Damn, you found out! Oh, whack.
明なぜかその市内には勝てません
Oh, I can't beat that Shinai for some reason. Maybe because you don't have a Shinai of your own. Os.
当然よこの道場では魔術は一切禁止なんだから
It's only natural. No magic is allowed in this dojo.
弟子1号が私に勝つには野生のライオンとか近代兵器を持ってくるしかないんだから
You have to bring in a wild lion or a modern weapon to beat me. Speaking of Elia's magic, we haven't really seen her flex much magic in fights, really. She clearly has very strong magic control, but as far as actual offensive magic talents, I wonder if she'll show anything off in Timeline 3 or not. I know she, she has magic control and she can maybe bind people, but in the heat of a battle, we haven't really seen her do much. She's never been in much of a position where she's had to do much, but Well, debatably, in the Gilgamesh fight, she could have done something. Maybe Gilgamesh was too much of a threat. Maybe because she has to spend so much of her magic keeping Berserker controlled, because she, you know, is doing it the hard way, as it were. She doesn't have any extra energy to do in a normal fight. I could accept that logic. No magic is allowed in this dojo. You have to bring in a wild lion, and Tiger would be the wild lion, or modern weapon to beat me. Oh, well, so, what are you, a tamed lion? No, you're still pretty wild. A lion off? You think a wild lion could beat you? Wouldn't you, Tiger, the lion, would be able to beat another lion? Or you're a tiger? You're a tiger, that's right. So you think a lion could beat you, the tiger? You don't think that you, the tiger, would be superior to the lion?
さあ、いい加減反省した？
Have you repented of your actions?
はーい。
Yes.
反省してます。
I love when they say a million words and it's translated as yes.
もう悪いことはいたしません。
I won't do anything bad again.
うん、いい子だ。これで少年の願いも叶ったというもの。喜べ弟分。このルートではイリアちゃんはおとなしめだぞ。
Yes, that's a good girl. The boy... That's a good girl. The boy's wish is granted as well. Which boy's wish? Shiro's wish? Rejoice, Shiro. Yorokobe. Ilia's nicer in this route. For all of the 5 seconds she's around to die on this route, you mean? Sure, she's nicer.
はいはい。今回はおとなしくしてればいいんでしょ？
Fine, fine. So I just have to stay quiet in this route, right? I wish you wouldn't stay quiet in this route, but I like the zoom out and the nice shot of the legs. Sorry, we didn't get enough Rin fan service in this timeline. I need to get my timeline 2 fan service out somewhere. That's another reason why this timeline is 1 out of 10, is that, you know, the Rin fan service was far less than, you know, the Saber fan service from timeline 1. So 1 out of 10, not enough Rin service. I mean, we got Rin images. The image count is probably equivalent, but it's not. They're not as sexy of images. If I had to talk about couples, I would say yes. I prefer Shiro and Saber as a couple to Shiro and Rin as a couple. I don't think Shiro and Rin are terrible, but I almost like them more as, you know, BFFs than I do the hardcore Shiro-Saber romance. We'll have to see how my mind feels when Timeline 3 potentially, theoretically, would give us the Sakura romance. I am assuming we'll see. But for now, I think my favorite OTP would still be the Shiro-Saber. I just have to stay quiet in this route, right?
まあ、いつも暴れっぱなしっていうのも芸がないしね。リンルートではいっそシロを助けてあげて、他のヒロインを食っちゃうのもいいかな。
Well, it's not smart always to be going on a rampage. I can help Shiro in this route and take one of the other heroines. You can help Shiro in this route? I would have loved to see that. Never happened. Rip. Unless that's the second ending of Timeline 2 as I save Ilia somehow. I would be down for that. Don't tell me. And take one of the other heroines. What does that mean? Take the place of one of the other heroines?
なあ、そこまで考えていたというの？
You have put that much thought into this? Ilia does like to plan things quite a bit in advance. The things she knows about, she tends to plan in advance. The archers are definitely her wild cards, and I guess that counts Shiro to an extent. Shiro, the fact that she likes Shiro to some extent catches her off guard in Timeline 1 as well. I can help Shiro in this route and take one of the other heroines.
反則コスだけでは飽き足らず、本編でそんな美味しいシチュエーションさえ演じるなんて。
That illegal costume isn't good enough? Illegal? So you're taking on such a great role in the main storyline? I'd love it. Let's see it. I want to see it.
いや、怖い子。
Yes, please, let me see it happen. I want it. Ilia, she's a scary child. Oh, these Taika dojos. So fun. It's a shame I didn't die much in this timeline. Cool. I got my stamp, right? So if I look at extras, ending list. Yeah, that did give me a stamp I didn't have before, because before I only had 14 and 16, so you have to actually see fully. You have to fully see it through to get the stamp. Alright. Okay, and there's like one between that one and that one, and there's 15 and 17. Interesting. Okay, let's see here. Sorry, I was ignoring the chat while I, you know, Taiga dojoed. Da-da-da, 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 da-da-da. Exposition boner. I feel like, Nasu gave us some pointless exposition that I would have wished he just, he could have thrown some of the random jibber jabber about how the magical stuff works in general into Taiga dojos. I wouldn't have minded that. It's the specific magical stuff related to specific individuals that I want more of the exposition for. The general mumbo jumbo isn't that important to me unless they're, until they went into extra specifics towards the end of Timeline 2 where they explain, oh, I have like 30 and Mina's like 500. That I enjoy. But some of the odd and mana or whatever it was called, that stuff to me, it feels a little, like they could have replaced that talk with, Caster has 3 things. Now, they didn't explain exactly what those 3 things are, which tells me maybe they'll go into that in Timeline 3, what exactly those 3 things are, but... Because otherwise, it's just, oh, there's 3 things. We won't say what they are, but there's 3 things. The best foreshadowing doesn't even look like it's foreshadowing. Oh, of course. I would agree. But you have to be careful about it. There's a difference between foreshadowing and there's a difference between foreshadowing and the game kind of spoiling unintentionally. It's a fine line. The best foreshadowing is the stuff you go back and look at in hindsight and go, oh, neat. But, Nasu's very much, look at my world, and I love it. I enjoy some of the mumbo jumbo, but I think some of it is a bit fluffy. And it'd be the kind of stuff I'd rather, look up in a wiki entry, or look up in some source book, than in core game, but, I enjoy having the lore in the status. If I look at the status and I can see, the descriptions of the characters and stuff, I enjoy that, maybe giving me the fluffy lore, but, half of its lore in a dictionary. Where's the other half? In the game, maybe? Alright, so, now we get the other one that obviously we need to get, which would be this one.
それはこちらのセリフよ。その傷ならしばらくは動けないと踏んでいたのだけれ
That's
ど。
my line. I thought you wouldn't be able to move for a
思ってい
while.
た以上の坊やだったわけね。
Much more resilient than I expected. Mm-hmm. Alright. This one, I don't really care about the shanking. Oh, I get the choice right away. Let's go. I mustn't run away, so we're gonna run away. Never. Let's not skip the scene that ends instantly.
無駄よ。
It's useless. Caster's voice echoes. Caster! I swing my wooden sword in a world without any direction. I don't feel it hitting anything, and I don't hear the sound of its swing. I just use up my energy and worsen my wound, and then I get stolen forever by Caster, which is what Elia said.
殺しは
A
しないわ。
tool! By this not evil person. Totally not. I know, I get it. She's playing the bad guy. She plays her part a little too well, though. My insides writhe. My body won't even budge, and I die. Dashes. The nausea almost caused me to throw up. That's bad. I do enjoy the bad endings because I enjoy the flavor dialogue of Shiro getting hurt. It's so good. With other characters, we tend not to see this kind of flavor, but the flavor of Shiro getting hurt, maybe it happens because it's Shiro, and he has self-hatred, so that's why there's so much, monologue for how hurt he is. He explains it almost because he enjoys his hurt for now, while he still has his self-hatred. And the world spins.
あの男は逃がしたけど。
Funny picture when it spins.
あなたは逃がさない。
Oh, that's another thing. That man got away, but I will not let you get away. Kirei living. They never talked about it. They never talked about it. They just didn't. It's like, Caster's like, oh, I killed him in her whatever. And then here, it's like, oh, he got away. But your thing said he killed him. And then later on, we see him again. And he's like, I'm alive. How? The game never says. So why do they bother saying that she killed him? If she actually killed him, that would be a strong point for her being the final boss, if they want to lead us mentally in that direction, just for them to juxtapose when, Archer kills her prematurely. But then they don't even really need to leave hints that Kirei's alive, which they did leave beforehand. They could have just had it so that Kirei, as far as you know, is dead. Rin believes he's alive, but other than that, there's no real hint. And then Kirei could just show up alive later on. He would probably still need to explain how he tricked Caster, but it's just a quick line is all that would be necessary. And they don't bother, it's just, oh, he lived. Castor thought she killed him somehow, but she also didn't think she killed him because she said the man got away. Unless it was Lancer getting away, unless she didn't know about Lancer. It's never really explained. Seems like poor exposition, but I should let you see your beloved princess. Right, and again, this feels like a little bit of a pointless bad end. I mean, it's not pointless. There is a reason for it. I thought it was pointless at the time. The pointlessness would be that, oh, we end up going to the church anyways, we just go later on. And also, the reason that makes it pointless, I would argue, is that there's just no fluff here. We don't really get to enjoy Castor doing this. It's just Shiro goes here, Castor catches him. We know Castor's here, so we know it's probably a bad end. We get caught instantly and we die. Now, I do think there's merit to Shiro going to the church initially versus Shiro going to the church because he feels Rin's there. It shows, you know, how he's still laser focused on Rin. But there still could have been some more substance to this bad ending, I feel. But, people don't always die when they're killed. We've established that already. I think, at least for humans that aren't Shiro with his immortality-ishness, it would be nice to give a slight explanation for why he doesn't die when he's killed. I think they slightly went over the idea of, oh, he's got some stuff protecting his body. But that wasn't enough to stop Gaybold. But maybe it was enough to stop Castor. Okay, give me one throwaway line about that then, is all I want. But my vision is cut off. I don't feel my limbs, and then I fuzz out. Alright, cool. That ends quickly as well. I do think this bad end could have had more substance. Oh, well. Dead end. Tiger Dojo. Yay! Sure. Oh! What the fuck? That's fun!
はーい、みんな元気にしてたかな？
Tokimeki Prophecy? Tiger Dojo? That was maybe that's the thing about Timeline 2, is it has all kinds of fun intros. I guess that might be the running trend now that I think about it. Huh. Like the other one, for example, started on the roadside. Interesting. Looked like, you know, that looked more pure on dating visual novel like Tiger Roach type stuff. Hi, is everyone doing well? Kirei is Kirei. Is it really that surprising? No, but I still want them to explain when the novel goes out to the way to say, I killed him. Wait, did I kill him? Rin's like, you didn't kill him. I killed him. And then later on, it's like, he's alive. Oh, okay, I thought you were alive. What's she gonna do? Stab him whenever passes for his heart? Yeah, maybe. Like, I know Kirei's gonna have some kind of protections on him. That's not really relevant. All they need is one line, and then later on when Lancer stabs him, they can go, even this protection won't protect against, Lancer's lance. That, you know, he had that protected against Castor's bullshit. Which they kind of do, but not really. They do say, no matter how much protections he has, this lance will kill him. But, like, they needed more. I want more. I want the visual novel to be longer, don't you understand? Yeah, replace some of the needless exposition with that needed exposition. Is everyone doing well?
ちょっと近道をしようと裏道に入った途端正面からたっぷり突っ込まれるような不運な君を助ける
This is the corner that helps the unfortunate people who get run over by trucks once they enter a shortcut, the Tiger Dojo. Wait, there's a truck and a shortcut? I'm sorry, did you go down a shortcut and... Oh, you think the shortcut is me talking to Kirei instead of... Or rather, this is a shortcut because I'm supposed to go to the church later on. But Rin said to go to the church anyway, so... the Tiger Dojo! Ellipses. Elia. Oh, maybe this is referencing a different Tiger Dojo that I missed. Maybe Elia was run over by a truck in some other Tiger Dojo. Ellipses.
さて、今回の死因はズバリ
Well, the cause of death this time is pure misfortune.
教会に行くこと自体は正しい選択なんだけど、もうちょっとだけ独力で遠坂さんを探してみることをおすすめするわ。
It's the correct choice to go to the church, but I recommend looking around for Tosaka-san by yourself for a bit. That's also what's kind of silly, is that... maybe it's Iliad's jelly that Taiga had the introduction that seemed kind of like a dating-style visual novel, whereas Iliad didn't. She wanted to be the datered. I wouldn't mind her being the datered either. I dislike that a bit too. I mean, I get the through line of, you know, Shiro's still just so Rin focused and so not focused on himself and what he can do. I get that. And the future Shiro focused as well. There's that too. But it's like, he just gets this feeling, and I guess that's the point, but he still ends up going to the same place as this ending. It's like the doge, it's this both time, and he doesn't have a clue for why, it's just the feeling. I don't know, I like logic over feelings, I get the through line, but Rin ends up heading here anyways, so if Shiro had logic, he potentially could have thought, oh, Rin might be here. He didn't though, it was just feelings, and I get the feelings, I just like logic. I'm a logic man. Ugh. I recommend, I get it, I don't like it, but I get it. I recommend looking around for Tosaka-san by yourself for a bit. Ellipses. What's up, Elia? You want me to look for you instead? Because when I'm separated, I could have went to look for you. I recommended Shiro look for Elia, potentially, you know, to get another ally, because Rin, you know, we don't know where to find Rin, but we have a rough idea, maybe, well, I don't know if we have a rough idea where to find Elia. I guess Rin had an idea of where to find Elia. But, I don't know, Shiro could have started somehow. To be fair, he didn't know where to find Rin either, beyond his senses, so I guess that's true, but it was an option maybe to look for Elia, and maybe that's why she's jealous. I'd be jealous too, Elia, because I wanted Shiro to go for you. Why are you frozen, Ilia-chan? If Shiro had went for the Elia, if Shiro had done that, like, I don't know, if Shiro had done that theoretically, instead of trying to go for Rin first, maybe we could have had an extended Elia stuff, maybe she could have lived, but maybe we would have switched to the Elia waifu, and Rin never would have died. Who petrified Elia? Clearly, Ryder has a stone curse that we never, haven't learned of yet, and that's why we don't know her true name, is that Ryder can turn people to stone, and she turned Elia to stone, obviously. Why are you frozen, Elia-chan? Did you mistakenly eat something spicy? Wait, if you eat something spicy, that freezes you? That shouldn't be how spices work. Ellipses. Are you ignoring me? Taiga's actor is so good. She's so good. She's the best actor in the game. I mean, Shiro's actor is really good at his part too. But I gotta say, I feel like Taiga's actor is the best at what she does. And I know she has a very exaggerated role, but she does it so well. And the Taiga dojos and the main game, oh, every time Taiga's around, it's a joy to just listen to the dialogue. Which, every time characters are around in general, it can be a joy to listen. That's why I leave the voices on. It can be a joy, but with Taiga, it's always a joy. It's never a question of can. Are you ignoring me? That's rude. Answer me. No, keep me company. Don't just answer me. I'm feeling lonely. That's so good. Geez, shut up! Okay, I will say I think Timeline 2 is a lot more expressive with these. Not just do they have more expressive intros, but they're more expressive in general in the Taiga dojos. In Timeline 1, they were a lot more bland, but I guess they were introductory, so that's okay. There were a few interesting stuff that happened sometimes, but this one they seem to be more expressive, at least from the ones I've seen, which I can appreciate, which makes me wonder what they'll do in Timeline 3, but... Oh, you're awake now, Ilia-chan? It's not, am I awake? I was frozen from shock, fainted, ectoplasm! Ectoplasm? From her shinai. Of course, Caster's ectoplasm. Why? Oh, it was because of that intro. Why? What was that intro? What is that? Isn't this the Taiga Dojo? I don't get it at all. Zen, zen. I love it. A magical girl is like that, you know? Since when is Taiga a magical girl? That's the real plot twist. You don't know that, Ilia-chan? I feel like she said a real word, but they translate it as og. I wonder if muka can be og in Japanese. That expression of pity irritates me! Yeah, you tell him, Ilya. You should be the magical girl in question.
そもそもタイガ魔法少女って年齢本編ヒロシといえど魔法少女が似合うのは私と
I agree. First of all, are you of an age to be a magical girl? You're too old. Out of everybody in Fate, the only one suited to be a magical girl is me. I don't know, I think Rin could pull off the magical girl, like, you know, you'd be the, kind of chipper one, who's maybe evil, maybe. Rin would be the obvious Sun one, and I could see Sakura being the nicey nice one. And then Saber, I don't know if Saber would work. She would be like, if she was one, she'd be like the contradiction one, where it's like, why are you a magical girl? I guess Taiga's the contradiction one, but she's not a contradiction. She's not purely contradiction in the same way. Ilya, technically speaking, is already a magical girl. I mean, yes, she's a magical girl, but she's not like a magical girl. She's like a magical girl, non-magical girl. It's like real robot versus super robot. Like, you know, she's a real robot magical girl, not a super robot magical girl, if that makes sense. The only one suited to be a magical girl is me. Oh, Rin. And Senpai! I mean, Rin could be an okay magical girl. She would fill the obvious Sun role. There'd be a trio. Sakura, Rin, and Ilya would make a nice magical girl trio. Technically speaking, Ilya is already a magical girl, even has a cute familiar. Like Berserker or like Shiro? I guess they're both kind of cute. What?
とにかくさっきの導入は以後禁止魔法少女ネタは今回きりだからね
Anyway, that intro won't be allowed in the future. The magical girl joke will not be allowed! Rin is the OG magical girl. She is the first one we see, to be fair.
そっかイリアちゃんも魔法少女になりたかったのね
I see, you wanted to be a magical girl too, huh?
けどごめんなさい無理なものは無理なの人間には適材適所って言葉があるのよ
But I'm sorry, it's impossible. There are the right people for the right things, you know. And you're the wrong person for this, Taiga. Except to make it a joke. You know, if they were to do a real magical girl thing, you know. Not like real magical girls, but like super robot magical girls, if you know what I mean. Personally, I prefer real robots, to be honest. Probably in the sense of both magical girls and robots and most things. I prefer real robot to super robot. I understand the appeal of super robot, but personally, I prefer, we use the weapons and tactics in this way to win the fight over my emotions were superior, therefore I was the drill that pierced the heavens. I mean, I don't dislike Gurren Lagann, but you know, it's generally not my cup of tea. Dashes! Oh boy, those big marks on her forehead. Aggravation marks? I feel like those have a name, and I'm blanking on it.
けどなんとかしてあげるイリアちゃんは少年が黒一色だから敵役のドイチェンブルマーとか地獄ティーゲルゲンスイなんかいいんじゃ
Oh, the fast speaking. But I'll work something out for you. You're pretty evil inside. What? Caster's nice inside. Ilya's evil, though. So I think you'll make a good enemy. Like German Bruma or General Tiger. I don't know enough about magical girl shows to know if that's a joke. Like, that I should understand the reference to. But I'll laugh at it anyway. Haha! Good joke. I won't play such a weird character! And Taiga's smiling as she gets fisted. Oh, Taiga. Drunk? Go to hell, you drunk tiger! A new rival appears! Is Rin the rival? Is she taking place as Taiga in the Tiger Dojos? Maybe that's fitting, because she's not around enough in her own pathway. I mean, she's around enough. She doesn't develop enough, though. Or, she doesn't, you don't need to develop, but she doesn't have... I feel like she develops in the background, but I would have liked some of that subtext as text. It just needed to affect Shiro more. He needed to become happy. And I guess maybe the idea is that Shiro, like Wise talked about this, maybe the idea is that Shiro learns to accept his past in Timeline 1, he learns what he might do about his future in Timeline 2, and maybe he learns to like himself in Timeline 3. But they didn't touch too much on Shiro's self-hatred, overly much the idea of him having fun in Timeline 1, where I feel like definitely touched on it in Timeline 2, and given that his interactions with Rin, and Rin is the girl of the timeline, I'm like, that makes sense, they'll fix each other. And Rin will make him have fun. And then maybe Timeline 3 would be the future. That would make sense to an extent, right? Timeline 1 past, Timeline 2 present, Timeline 3 future. But, so... Oh, it's over. Cool. Alright, so ED list. We're still skipping some. So now's where we get to looking. So, I'm not sure if this is going to be one where Archer saves me regardless. I feel like it would be. But I want to go to the very last choice from the timeline, this one, and I want to try to drag him in with me. Maybe I beat him to the punch, and Archer never saves me, in which case this would be the last bad ending. I want to get the last one to see where the last one is placed, actually. Because this will help my theories about the general structure of the game. So let's do it, last minute choice. It means I'm gonna die either way. Bruh, bruh. I'll at least take him with me. No way I can't give up. Even when he tried to not give up so easily, like, he still couldn't get away. But maybe it was enough of a pushback to give future Shiro a chance to save him. Emiya. Maybe I'll just call him Emiya. I don't know. I'll say I'll at least take him with me. Let's see. If I'm gonna die either way, I can't let him escape. Oh, look at it waver. No way! Oops. He kept talking! Even though it said no way, he kept talking. He was like, Fusakena! Orewa! He was definitely said more than no way. I blame the text on that. I wrapped the chain further around my arm. I want to hear what he was going to say. Screw it. We're like 5 seconds later, right? It means I'm going to die either way. I'll at least take him with me. Oh my wa! Okay, he said you. Okay. I thought he was saying orewa. He uses ore and omai, so they both start with an O. I wrap the chain further around my arm. I grab onto the chain so that it won't let me go. Don't come out into this world again! If anything, this choice is sort of in character for Shiro because of his self-hatred. Although future Shiro might still save him. If anything, it would make more sense for Shiro to attempt to do this choice, but then future Shiro saves him. Debatable though, because Rin was trying to help him have fun, so there's still debate for this other choice to work. But if future Shiro doesn't save him here, then I feel like he's failed as the savior Shiro. I don't resist the pull and throw my body into the void, but it's still, I think, a bad end where future Shiro's too slow, which is fair. Oh no! Once again, future Shiro is reminded of how this wish of his is a failure won't work. Fool, are you insane? Oh, he thought he would get out because, past Shiro, it's still a nice ending for Gilgamesh because you would think everyone cares the most about themselves. And even Gilgamesh went on and on about how, fool, it's wrong to care about other people's over yourself. And Gilgamesh is about caring about himself always more than everything else. So he would probably think, as much of a hypocrite as past Shiro normally is, about trying to, be a hero, when it comes down to it and his life is on the line like this, he'd at least try to save himself, right? But no, he fails to understand the depth of Shiro's self-hatred. Or at least the potential depth in this choice. So I like that this can lead to an end for him as well. I think it still works, even though it leads to Shiro's end, but that's okay. Fool, are you insane? I roll down. I fall into the eternal darkness while my body is being melted away. Okay, I wonder what kind of glimpse this is going to give us to where this could lead. I fall into the eternal darkness and my body is being melted away. Oh yeah, it's like the Curse of the Grail. A black mud that mercilessly eats into my body. So yeah, it is the mud. My body is taken away, and the soul called Emyashiro falls into the darkness. I still think it's more red, but sure. Red darkness. We'll just take it as red darkness. Is it because the fall was so long? I feel like I'm going up after a while, and... Oh, no! Okay! I'm swallowed by a big grail-like sun. Oh, that glimpse we got. Okay, all right, okay. Theory time. That glimpse we got this. Oh, okay, I think we are gonna fully go into this. The depths of this place in Timeline 3 would be my guess. So we got this glimpse of like this towering statue or something. We're gonna need some kind of magical protection against this, and then when we go inside it to destroy it for good, maybe, because otherwise it will swallow you up with madness. So maybe Sakura's got some kind of powers. I don't know. Or Ryder does, because we don't know enough about her, right? Where it's like, maybe they have some protective powers, strong protective powers that can protect you. Maybe Sakura has a crazy amount of light energy that can reflect the dark energy, or something like that. Then again, also Ryder rides on her unicorn, and that is very fast. Maybe it's fast enough to go in there, slash something, and get out. I don't know. Things to think of. I'm swallowed by a big grail-like sun. Uh-huh. Is it really a sun? Grail-like sun. Yeah, and the other thing about this image of this towering structure is I remember it. I don't remember when this was, but at some point, I want to say in Timeline 1, when Shiro was having his flashbacks to the fire, as he did, fairly constantly, Shiro had a flashback where he got a glimpse of that. I think it's the same towering structure, and it was just, he saw it within the fire. Does that mean the Grail-like structure had spilled out and was emitting something? Or does that mean, was that the epicenter of where the Grail spilled out? Or is that foreshadowing that Shiro wasn't just in the fire, but there's some other third plot twist with him, right? Plot twist 1 is he's got Avalon. Plot twist 2 is he's Archer. Does he have a plot twist 3? Plot twist 3 might just be like, oh, he's got some kind of time travel shenanigans going on. But, like, is that related to some other third twist? Is that the twist in of itself? Or is that, like, further parts of a different plot twist? Is a question. Because, yeah, I feel like he saw that object. He saw that towering object in the fire in one of his flashbacks. Which means, yeah, it should be more than just the Grail's innards. Because if it's the dark hole, you go in there, you see the innards spilled out. That's why, because the Grail was destroyed. But the Grail's destroyed here, too. The Grail's destroyed here, but it's destroyed differently, I see. Because maybe that's why. Because the Grail's innards, it went the fire, the innards spilled out with the fire. Here, though, we destroyed it before it popped. And we destroyed it with, like, Plot twist 3, we couldn't come up with a third plot twist. The plot twist is, there is no plot twist. You're right, that is a plot twist. But yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. So I guess that's why, because the zit popped, as it were. Gilgamesh wanted the zit to pop as well, but even bigger in Timeline 2, but didn't succeed. If it popped, maybe that would have come to the outside. Alright. I'm swallowed by a big Grail-like sun. Oh, okay. We only got a glimpse? That's fine. I'm completely satisfied with that glimpse. Yes, please. Nice!
Kono!
You? Kono. Kono normally means this, but sure. Oh, I love how these all start so interestingly. Whoa! After images. No! Don't beat up Shiro like that! Oh, of course. He wouldn't want Shiro to... Idiot! I get it. Because Shiro could have just lived if he tried to live, and he willingly decided to die. But, you know, I'd say it's in character with Shiro's hell-of-hatred. I can also see just barely the argument that it's also in character for him to not do that, because Rin has been barely touching on his fun chords a little bit. Just enough, but still, I think this was a valid choice for him, given his mind state. And it's a nice, usurping of, Gilgamesh, so I don't hate it. Idiot! The after image is funny.
Shock! まさかこのタイガー道場を見るつわものがおろうとは。
What a shocking nothing someone see this Taiga dojo. Didn't you, don't you remember Timeline 1 where you talked about how some people might be completionists and just look for Tiger dojos? That's what I'm doing. I enjoy the Tiger dojo so much.
おお、シロー、死んでしまうとは情けない。
Oh, Shiro, how shameful of you to die.
アドバイスなどありません。
I have no advice to give. Don't be this stupid. I'm down for that. Is Ilya not around because she's dead? Oh, no. Oh, no. Is that gonna be a thing?
急いで選択肢に戻って最後の決着をつけちゃいなさい。
Quickly go back to the choice and go finish the match. Ilya didn't show up. Is it because she's dead? No, wait, she's alive.
みんな元気？
Never mind, she's still around. Okay, I like that. I was afraid that I'd get so many Taiga dojos without Ilya in this pathway. Well, it wouldn't be too many, but enough that I'd be like, no! Hi, is everyone doing well?
タイガがいなくなった隙にフェイとちょっといい話。
Since Taiga is gone, some special advice for all of you. Oh, I love the halves. Where we saw the gate opening, it closed, Taiga left, and then it half opens. Alright, I want some sneaky advice from Ilya. I'm so glad she still gets to be around even when dead. That comforts me, because I like her. Since Taiga's on, some special advice for all of you.
みんなリンルートのグッドエンドの生き方すっごくわかりづらくて困ってるよね。
I bet everyone's troubled by how to get Rin's good end, right? I don't know. Maybe? Is that the other ending? Don't tell me. Comments, don't tell me. Huh. Maybe the ending I got was more Archer's ending, and Rin's good end is separate?
ここはそんなあなたのためのヒントコーナーです。
This is a hint corner for people like you.
今回は特別に先輩をお呼びしました。
I've specially called for Senpai.
先輩、ズバリどうやったらグッドエンドに行けるんでしょうか？
Senpai, how exactly can I get to the good end?
3日目夜に連れ戻す。
Bring back on the third night. I'm gonna write this down. Hold on, I gotta find something to write on. I'm probably gonna look into this. They're giving me a hint, so I'm gonna look into it. Just, where's a paper that I have that's like, that works. Oh, but is this completely blank, though? Third night. I have a whole stack of papers standing by. Most of them are Japanese practice that I haven't done in a while. Bring back on the third night. Let's see. Rin hint. Hold on, I'm gonna write this down. Rin hint. I don't know if I can write. Okay, I'll go through it and see if there's anything more. Just bring back on the third night. Bring back. Actually, I can skip the on the and just use a comma to represent on the. I'm a genius. Bring back the pendant? Is that possible? Do I have to have played the timeline fully through once? Do I need to have timeline knowledge? Bring back. Third night. Bring back on the third night.
5日目朝に様子を見る。
Oh, yeah, okay, there's a series. Go see how she's doing on the 5th morning. Probably how Rin's doing, is what they mean. Bring back third night. Okay, see how she's doing? I can skip go. I'll write the, yeah, sure. See how she's doing. See how she doing. I can skip the S. Speed writing. See how she's doing 5th morning. Maybe this is an exact cheat sheet. I don't mind looking for stuff like this, but if it's this exact, I don't mind the game giving me a hint like this. See how she doing 5th morning. So on the 3rd night, I have to do a specific choice, bring something back. And then on the 5th morning, I have to see how she's doing. I see. I don't mind the idea of a route like that. I don't mind necessarily looking for stuff like that. I would love to stumble onto something like this accidentally, but if I don't stumble onto it my first time through, I'm unlikely to stumble onto it, at least during a streamed series where I'm trying to, you know, show everything. If I wasn't showing everything, I would probably be the type to just, you know, I don't know if I'd brute force all of the choices. Well, okay, if I knew there was another ending, because the game has sort of shown that there's, like, another ending slot there, if the game didn't have this, but did show that there was another ending, I might do some brute forcing, but it depends. I don't mind this hint because if it's this specific, I might have probably just ended up looking it up anyways. How she's doing on the 5th morning. Okay.
8日目放課後に喜ばせる
Make her happy on the 8th day after school. Okay. Happy on 8th day after school. Maybe this is what gives us the Rin sexy time. All right. That's what I was so upset about with the lack of sexiness. It felt so friend-zoned. Make her happy 8th day. Maybe the epilogue on Rin's good ending would be actually seeing Rin and Shiro a few years later grown up. Maybe. Make her happy 8th day. 8th day aft school. You're not a fast writer. I'm a fast typer. I'm not a fast writer, no. And I'm not even that fast of a typer. I'd say I'm a decent speed typer. I don't write much, so that's probably why my typing has increased, whereas my writing has gotten worse. But I like having real writing for stuff like this and not typed out notepads. Make her happy on the 8th day after school.
10日目夜に道場で話し
Oh wow, it's just a list of, yeah, thorough instructions. Talk in the dojo on 10th night. Okay. Talk in dojo 10th night.
$15日目夜に道場
Dojo on the 15th night. Okay. Dojo 15th night. Is that the last of the hints? I assume there wouldn't be much more. Dojo 15th night is interesting because, I mean, unless, you know, the choice itself could be rather different by that point. There might have been a decent-sized branch. But the 15th night, we had to go to Rin's room. There was a dojo choice, but that was like sparring with Saber or something? Which I am curious about. I feel like there's probably going to be an extended bad end there, similar to the one in Timeline 1, though that could be wrong. But, interesting. Talk in the dojo on the 10th night, dojo on the 15th night. Okay.
素晴りすぎっす先輩
That's too exact, senpai!
これを全部押さえればいいっすね
So we have to do all this?
ダメ押さえるのは4つ
Nope, you only have to do 4 of these. Oh, 4 out of 5. So there's still Rin points. I see. So I guess the idea is that with Saber, there's a lot of general Saber points. And if you fail to hit them, like I did, because I was trying to go on other people's routes, it wasn't until I was basically firmly set in Saber that I started really appreciating the Saber romance. Now I really like that romance. But before, I'm like, I want to be with Rin or Ilya or Sakura or someone. And so I kept not doing it, so that's why I got the bad Saber end. Here, there's Rin points, but it's much more specific of a sort, I guess. Would be my assumption. You only have to do 4 of these. I'll probably do them all anyway.
うち2つばかり選ばなくていいのが混ざっている
You only have to do 4 of these. There's 2 that you don't have to do. Wait, what? But there's 5 of them. So which is it? There's 2 that you don't... What? What do you mean you only have to do 4? You screwed with me, game? You said 5 things, and then you said... What? I'm not gonna write this stuff down, because I'm just gonna try to do all 5.
セイバーにかまけてると12日目を超えられない
You can't get past the 12th day if you're too occupied with Saber. You can't get past the 12th... Do I have to write that down, I wonder? 12th day... sure. I'll put a line to show that this isn't a choice. Or it could be, but I don't know. 12th day... Don't saber? I'll put a question mark because I'm not sure. 12th day, don't saber. You can't get past the 12th day if you're too occupied with saber. It might lead to a bad end that normally it wouldn't lead to as a result of doing Rin stuff. Maybe if you've locked yourself on the Rin route by that point, there'll be a bad ending there normally wouldn't be. Or it could just be general. It could be a general thing to go more on Rin than saber, but...
おす、ありがとうございました。
Thank you! Thank you, master. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I haven't Japanesed in a while. No, was it? Onegashimasu? But then there's... I forget.
そういうことらしいんで、余裕があったら3日目からやり直してみてね。
I guess that's how it is, so please start over from the 3rd day if you have some time. Alright, now that you've given me the cheat sheet, I probably will do that, though not yet. Alright. Okay. So which one was that, I wonder? Oh! Is that interesting? Well, it's not that interesting. What I was about to say is that less than I was expecting. Because Timeline 1... I'm trying to remember what bad ends I've seen. Timeline 1 was the first 14, right? What? What? I feel like Timeline 1 was the first 14. Was the first 14 Taiga Dojos, I think. So this would be the next 10? Which theoretically... That's low. Which theoretically leaves... yeah, I'm talking about the number of bad ends. But, which theoretically leaves, what, 16 for Timeline 3? That's a lot, unless some of them are exclusive to... That seemed like it should be the final bad end. In fact, it even has the other ending, theoretically, of UBW slotted in between the Fate end and the True end. It also looks like there's possibly 2 endings for the 3rd timeline, unless there's, you know, some hidden 4th route. It could also just be that Timeline 3 has a lot of bad endings. Or it could be there's a 3 and 4, and the 4th has just, you know, they both have a small amount of bad endings. And the number of bad endings just go down and down. But some of them might also be from the Hidden Rin route. Maybe. Alright. So, right then. What are we doing now? That was the first thing I wanted to do, and I did not expect that to be so fruitful. I will leave that aside for later. I'm not going to jump headlong into that just yet. So... Some thoughts and ideas and stuff. What other choices do... Oh, you know what I'm curious about? No, I don't want to do that yet. I want to do that when I go to end the stream. How long have we been going for? I at least want to go for another 40 minutes or so, maybe. I have an idea of something I want to try. I want to try loading up a Fate. This might just crash my game, which is why I want to wait till I'm basically done. Once I'm done for the day is when I'm gonna attempt to do this. I want to load up a Fate file from the UBW executable, because some of them I can load, it seems. Most of them it seems I can't, but then there's a couple where it's like, you can for some reason. Like these two on this page, these two, and then this one. It might crash my game, it might not be intentional, it might be a fuck up, and I might, you know, which is why I'm gonna do it like last. So, but until then, what else do I want to try? Are these all listed in order? Right, there wasn't many choices for a long time before this one, because it was very focused on, you know, Archer being Archer. Yeah, I have different, I have executable nonsense, but, you don't worry about that. It might be nothing, it might be something, don't tell me. If it is nothing, and if it's a glitch, then I want to walk into the glitch. Forgot it was Monday. Oh boy. If you can find the Triforce and unlocks the secret Neko-san route. That's what I want. Of course I want the Neko-san route. 12th day. These are from the 12th day, but like... oh, was that the last no, that's the 12th day, but this is still the 15th day. They're unfortunately not ordered. I do want to order these, but I probably won't order them until after, because I might need to make additional save points for the Rin timeline theoretically thing anyways, depending on how much time I spend on that. But probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to lump these together, all on like the first, you know, I counted and I have about half the save points left over, so I'll probably lump them on like the first 7 pages in order once I'm ready to start the third timeline. But for now, going backwards in order across the 15th day, as it were, there weren't many choices for a while, actually. There wasn't a choice here. There was no, yeah, there was just, because it was Shiro being Shiro. I guess the debate there is that Shiro's coming more into his own self, and he's becoming more confident. And the more confident he gets, the further you get, maybe the less choices there are. At least on stuff that should be more obvious. There's an argument there. Because, yeah, still no choice, still no choice. All the way from here, there's still no choice. Even 14th day, the caster fight. Here was the last choice, end of battle. I don't know if this means anything, but it's like the last choice since a while, so let me see here. Svei Kozuki. I feel like this is a you can't do anything because I tried to save him and failed. So I don't think not saving him will do anything, but it might mean Shiro is so stupid that he dies from or so self-hating that he dies from self-hating when he decides to not do it. The fate of the loser. What good is stopping them? What's wrong with stopping them if I can? Yeah, I tried what's wrong with stopping them if I can, and Shiro just failed. He failed to stop them because, you know, stuff. So what happens if I say what good is stopping them? Dashes. I have no right to stop them. Even if he was Caster's puppet, Kazuki did not stop her. Yeah, but future Shiro's not your servant. Checkmate. Oh, I see what you're saying. I thought you were saying something else. Okay. He did not stop Caster from sucking magical energy out of people, and he even supported it. That's not the superhero mindset, though, Shiro. I'm just surprised if you can just take this choice, and Shiro yet still becomes confident in the dream to save people, because this feels so anti-past Shiro's mindset. He even supported it. Then, even if he's not a magus, Kazuki's a master. To defeat other masters means killing them. We fought prepared to kill each other. Kazuki does not want any help and has not admitted defeat. The man in front of me will only stop in death. Even if that's true, shouldn't you try to save him? Isn't that the whole point of your character arc? So, how can I, a master, stop them? I suppose he hasn't had his arc yet, but like, he's just about to, basically. You know, he's on the precipice. And after a moment's confrontation, Kazuki moves. Kazuki's fists haven't weakened at all. They reach out like snakes to smash Archer's temple. Archer dodges it by a hair and pierces Kazuki Soichiro's chest to silence him. So they just let you go with Shiro being in this sort of frazzled state, but there's not much point because, I mean, I feel like there's meaning to Shiro trying to save. I just wonder what the point of the choice is. Because, like, Shiro tries to save and fails. And that, to me, feels meaningful, because it means Shiro's still trying to believe in the ideal, whereas this future Shiro has given up on it. That's the whole point of their confrontation. So the fact the game lets you not try to save Kazuki is interesting, especially if nothing comes of it. Oh, wow, and then it just repeats? Sure, skip this scene. Sure, skip this scene. Sure, skip this scene. Sure. 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 They're all the same. Nothing changes. There's no bad ending. I just feels kind of like, I guess it's more asking the player, but I feel like, I don't know. Whoa. Oh, wait, what? Oh, that's right, because it takes so long to have the next choice. Right. Anyways. Wait a second. No, yeah, there is another choice. Sorry, that's right. There's the strategy one. Where did that one go? Did I overwrite that somehow? Am I stupid and I overwrit it? Let me see here. It should still be here. This was that choice. And then before that, on page 11? Right, I chose this one. It was here, right, this was the 15th day choice. I forgot about this one. I think there will be an extended bad end, which is why I want to avoid it for now. So no, I didn't overwrite it. So, we're going to ignore that, because I don't think it leads to anything specific. Unless there's an extended bad end, in which case I might scout for that more later, but for now I'm not going to bother with that. Alright. What are we going to load? So if we go back from that choice, which was where? The Kazuki choice. Let's see, what's there? Oh yeah, Verst Hosaka, 5th day, 6th day. What was the last choice before that? Einsburn Castle, right. Was this attempting to save Elia or something? How do we win if we don't join Lancer? Oh, this was the join Lancer, right. Dashes. My answer is, alright, I don't mind on one condition, I refuse. Okay, I picked the best option. Oh yeah, that's right, I love this. Under one condition, gave us the best outcome. It was the best outcome in the world. But, what if I say I refuse? Do we fight and he kills me? Or does Rin not let me refuse? No, Rin says she'll accept whatever Shiro's answer is. So what if I say I refuse?
断る。お前は信用できない。
I refuse. I can't trust you. It's not only Lancer. I don't want to go along with Lancer's master, who's still unknown.
そうか。相棒はそう言ってるが、そっちはどうだお嬢ちゃん。
I see, your partner is saying so, but what about you, young lady? You said you'd go along with his choice. Exactly, that's what I remembered. She said she'd go along with it, so do we go into a fight?
方針は変わらないわ。エミヤ君が信用できないのなら、あなたと共闘しても意味がないでしょう。
Oh shit! How big of a are we actually gonna fight? Is he gonna kill us? I won't take back my words. It's meaningless to cooperate with you if Emiya-kun can't trust you. Big of you, Rin. She said she'd go along with my choice. She does trust me at this point. I made the wrong choice.
なるほど、その通りだ。つくづく惜しいな。あんたは本当に俺の好みだったんだが。
I see, you're right. This is disappointing. You really were my type. Lancer turns. The blade figure does not look back and disappears in a flash. Does he just leave? The blue figure. Blade figure? He just leaves? Oh. So this has to be an extended bad, or maybe Lancer, like, maybe Lancer jumps in and, attacks Archer anyways, comes out of nowhere, helps us whether we want to or not? Possibly. Alright, let's follow this rabbit hole a little bit. Vanine Storm. Maybe there's just a bit of a delay on my chat, but I corrected myself to blue before you said blue in the chat, as far as I can see. But unlimited figure works. The sun sets and the hall is filled with darkness. We came here to look for an ally, but the only thing remaining here after turns of events. Oh, okay, that kind of works. Weird, but sure. Is the empty castle.
それでどうする？こっちから仕掛けず、守りを固めるっていうのなら、ここに残ってもいいと思う。
So what will we do? We can stay here if we want to go into defense.
食料も暖も取れるし、壁を直せば籠城の真似事ぐらいできるしね。
There's food and beds here. If we fix the walls, we can probably manage to protect ourselves inside the castle. Food and beds here. Yeah, so we're not going to confront... This tells me it's definitely a bad end then. We're not even going to confront, Caster. We're just gonna hold ourselves up here because we have no ally, huh? I know there's a delay on the chat, on purpose. I just noticed your comment of blue, and then I said blue, so I'm just making sure you know that I said blue before you said it. Haha. Take that. I am the petty winner. Yeah, how about those beds, exactly? Hubba. If we fix the walls, we can probably manage to protect ourselves inside the castle. Dashes. That's the best thing we can do if we want to protect ourselves. But we chose the path to fight because we couldn't do so. Because you couldn't protect yourselves? I mean, Castor gave you an out, and as long as you don't meddle with them, you could theoretically still be safe.
いや、守りを固めたところで無駄
It's
だろ。
meaningless, even if you fortify. Lancer and Gilgamesh, though, may still be problems, even if Castor doesn't get in your way.
キャスターがセイバーを完全に支配してしまったら、どんなに籠城したところで破られる。
Any defensively penetrated once Castor completely controls Saber. Well, I mean, Castor said she wouldn't go after us if we didn't go to them, so I feel you're maybe safe from them? Shinji probably wants, you know, Rin because Shinji's all gross and stuff, and Gilgamesh is with Shinji, but...
仮にもしここで生き延びたところで聖杯がキャスターのものになったら。
And even if we do survive here, it doesn't matter if Castor obtains the Holy Grail. Yeah, because she's gonna use it for bad things, because she's like a bad person, right?
私たちだけじゃなく町の人間もただじゃ済まない。
Not only us, but the people in town will suffer as well.
ならやることは一つね。キャスターがセイバーを手に入れる前に取り戻す。キャスターとアーチャーとアサシンとクズキ先生。
Okay.
この4人を私たちで倒す。
Maybe it's not a bad ending then. Or it still is. Depends on if Lancer helps us out whether we want to or not. And there's only one thing to do. We'll get Saber back before Castor controls her. We have to defeat Castor, Archer, Assassin, and Kazuki-sensei by ourselves. That's a big ask. Even with Lancer, it was a pretty big ask. I mean, to be fair, with Lancer, you only really got out of it okay because Archer was a turncoat. Dashes. You're too proud to let Castor win the war and just stay away, I guess. I mean, you should have teamed up with Lancer then, you dumb Shiro. Why is that even a choice? I silently nod. Since we could not get Elia's help, that's all we can do. Ah, you would have wanted Elia's help, but you're not okay with Lancer's help, huh? He did kill you, kinda, sorta, so that's fair. And if you knew who his master was, you might be more not okay with having his help, you know? The sun will completely set soon. We'll have to get out of this place before that. And attack Castor before Saber is completely controlled. Alright. What do you guys talk about in the forest? And the day changes. Okay. Night stay night. I assume I don't live through this day. It's a simple plan. The process will change depending on the situation. Our only objective is to confront Castor as a result. Okay. It doesn't even matter if that only happens for an instant. Castor is the weakest when it comes to hand-to-hand combat. Oh, okay, that's pretty much spelling out Rin's plan, more or less, then, yeah. Even if she may be a servant. I mean, they don't have to be on the nose about Rin's plan, but still, it gives an idea to what the plan is, even if they don't spell it out, which would be good if they don't spell it out. Even if she may be a servant, there's a chance of victory if we can fight her 2 against 1. That's gonna be hard when there's 3 other people there. Tosaka's jewels and my projection magic. We can win if we use all of our abilities. I mean, Shiro, if you were really going full Shiro, if you went full Shiro, then maybe you'd have a chance. Just maybe, but... That's the result we came up with, and we got out of the forest believing in it. Even that's doubtful. Even Shiro going full Shiro is pretty doubtful, because future Shiro would still be more Shiro than past Shiro at this point. And past Shiro can't really turn on Castor until there's an opening, and there won't be an opening while, you know, Shiro is guarding from Shiro, so... We go to the forest believing in it. Believing wrongly, and you're going to die. We don't talk after that. There's only one reason not to. We're desperately bluffing to try to deceive ourselves. You do that a few times in this pathway, but in this case, I feel like it's definitely a bad ending. The morning light is gray. The sun is blocked by clouds obscuring the dawn. A cloudy sky is above us. Is this metaphorical for the fact that maybe if we choose to team up with Lancer, the sky is less cloudy, but here it's cloudy because we die? I don't remember if that's true, but it'd be neat if it was. The sky is more gray than black, and it reminds me of that time 10 years ago. It should rain soon. An impure gray sky. The man is standing below the cloudy sky.
やはり来たか。君の性格は把握している。必ず何らかの策を持って戻ってくると思う。
And before Future Shiro's like, wait, what? That's your plan? Are you stupid? Where's Lancer? Well, shouldn't he have been with you? So you did come back. I know your personality. I knew you'd be back with some sort of plan. It's not a great plan. He stares at her with cool eyes. It's a decent plan in the other timeline, or in the other version of this timeline, but not here. He stares at her with cool eyes.
悪いわね、アーチャー。その期待には応えられないわ。
Oh? I'm sorry, Archer, I can't live up to your expectations. Oh, an admission that her plan's got a sucky here?
私たち、見ての通り都市空間だもの。一日考えたけど、なんにも策は思いつかなかったわ。
We have nothing to start out with. We thought for a day, but we couldn't come up with anything. Given that Future Shiro wants to kill past Shiro, he might just go straight for it in this case and kill him that way and get his wish, as it were. We couldn't come up with anything, even though we thought for a day.
何？
What?
信じられないでしょうけど、今日は玉砕に来たの。
That's blunt. You might not believe me, but we're here today to die honorably. That's so stupid. But it's so fitting for both of their characters at this point. Should have just teamed up with Lancer. Rin knew it was a good idea, but she was so on Shiro's dick that when Shiro said no, Rin didn't turn against it. Rin hadn't fully accepted her position as Shiro's top yet, I guess, is the idea. Because she was still felt weird about her position with Future Shiro. And, you know, until Future Shiro betrays Caster, there probably was still that shakiness. And as things went along and she reaffirmed her affirmation, maybe then she would have been more willing to be the top. If we wanted to catch him off guard, mission accomplished. Yeah.
けど、少しぐらいの運は残ってたみたいね。あなたがここにいるってことは、セイバーはまだキャスターに逆らってるってことだもの。
But I guess we're still a bit lucky. If you're here, it means Saber's still opposing Caster. So there's 4 enemies now. Well, 3 if Saber's still opposing Caster. But sure. 4 is the worst case. If we pass Archer, we can fight Caster and Assassin head on. Oh, right! Lancer never gave you your Assassin talk. Right, Lancer told you Assassin shouldn't be here. Of course. So, since Lancer wasn't around, Rin might have already assumed Assassin wouldn't be here, but there's no way to know for sure, so you have to go in expecting he might be here. Of course. That's why you mean 4. Alright. Our plan is that we would fight Archer together and confront Caster with the 2 of us. That's the lie Tosaka made up. Oh?
そうか。キャスターとエミヤシロ。天秤はキャスターに傾いたのだな。
I see. Caster and Emiya Shiro. The scales tipped to Caster, huh? Ah, yes. Future Shiro being like, well, you just failed, huh? Did you, Shiro? You're still just a failure. All the more reason to jump straight to kill him. He'd get impulsive. He probably wants Caster to, you know, get taken out, because he wants Rin to win the war, but now this would make him hate Shiro even more, I would say. Because, yeah, he probably wanted to help Rin get out, and then kill Shiro after that, after they dealt with Caster. But he thought Shiro at least would be helpful enough of Rin to get this far, but he's not. So he's like, wow, it's probably your fault, isn't it, you past version of me? And it is his fault, because Rin went along with Shiro's choice. The scales tipped to Caster, huh? Archer's question is a loaded one.
ええ、自分でも自分の性格が嫌になるけど、生まれつきだから変えられなかったみたい。
Yes.
結局ここ一番で、
Oh.
私は非人間だった。
There's a bit of an admission. I hate my own personality, but I guess I can't change it since I'm born with it. Were you born with it? Or was it molded based on your experiences with your father and with Kirei? And I feel like, you know, there was definitely some resolution in the route, but I feel like a lot of it was subtle. I'm born with it. I'm inhuman at the very end. You really need to be more comfortable with yourself, Rin. We had a talk, but I guess, you know, we haven't had the sexy crest exchange, so. Houseflies? I should try to figure out how to kill houseflies? With what thing? Oh, right, assassin. Still waiting on those steps. He did get to fight everyone at least once, apparently, though, so good on him. I'm inhuman at the very end. Saying so with an emotionless voice, Tosaka steps forward.
シロ、アーチャーはあなただけを襲ってくる。フォローはしないわ。私はあなたが殺されている間にキャスターと戦ってみる。
That's blunt! Shiro, Archer will only attack you. I won't back you up. I'll try to fight Caster while you get killed. Wow! She just says it. Is this payback for the fact that I disagreed with going with Lancer? I mean... Or is it because you've already accepted you're gonna die too? Wow! Tosaka apologized with her back turned. Is that an apology? Confessing that she intended to use me as a sacrifice from the start. Oh, so the plan, she said, where the two of you would fight Archer together. Where the two of you would fight Archer together, and then after beating him, she would go... you would go to try to get Caster was a lie, so she's gonna you're gonna die fighting Future Shiro, and then I'll go die to Caster because I couldn't bear it. If Future Shiro killed me, he probably couldn't bear it either. I need to get killed by someone that isn't Shiro. Is probably true, because she probably thinks you and him have no chance of beating your future self. Nor would you necessarily want to, and you wouldn't want to see it happen. So I think I can see some sense from Rin's perspective that doesn't make her kind of morally kind of a dick. Confessing that she intended to use me as sacrifice from the start. I think she just didn't want to see a Shiro die, but she already expected that this is the worst possible outcome, so she's just gonna let it happen. That's the nice way of thinking that, she's not the rudest. Dashes. How stupid of her. Oh! She didn't have to say such a thing. Say which thing?
バカ、気にするな。俺だってお前の性格ぐらい分かってる。
Don't worry about it, you idiot. I know your personality. Cute? Her personality. Oh, I hate my own personality. I know your personality, and he likes your personality. And Shiro, you dislike. Well, I don't know if Shiro dislikes his personality. He just dislikes himself, which I think is a bit different. Rin, I think, tries to like herself, even if, she wavers. Or she's banking on Archer taking her side. That's true, too. All along, Rin probably was hoping Archer would be a turncoat. Still, this is very desperate, hoping that Future Shiro won't kill the past version of himself. That is a possible plan, is that Rin bypasses, and then takes advantage of that, and then Future Shiro just turncoats. But, it's not going to happen, because Future Shiro actually kind of wants to kill Shiro anyway, and also past Shiro in the moment won't be able to keep up with Future Shiro, I would say. Don't worry about it, you idiot. I know your personality. I think there's a few layers to this. I think she thinks it's probably over, but maybe Future Shiro will give him a miracle and just turncoat anyways, but it's not that easy, because if Caster's not distracted, and I don't think she will be distracted under the circumstances, since Kazuki can just take Rin out, yeah. I don't think anything will come of it. Huh? Still, at least we have a cute line exchange with them before the end. Before Future Shiro finally gets what he wants and kills me.
登坂、勝ち目のないことはしない主義だろ。だから分かっていた。確かにこれぐらいしか勝つ方法はないもんな。
You're not one to do anything without a chance of victory, right? That's why I knew. This is certainly the only way we'll have any chance of winning. Really no. Yeah, I guess I can see that. True. If they just try to fight Archer, they'll never potentially get Caster distracted. If they bypass Future Shiro and go to Caster, they can get her distracted, and potentially the Shiros can team up. I can see the through line there, but without Lancer, I don't think it's going to work. Once he's done killing Shiro, he'll turn in his resignation? Sure. But at this point, he's already controlled by Caster, and she can just use command spells on him. I feel like the whole point is that Archer had to catch Caster off guard when she wasn't paying attention, so that he could not be command spelled to do bad things, as it were. That's my understanding of it. That's why I knew. This is certainly the only way we'll have any chance of winning. Shiro. Her back shakes a bit. Oh boy. Oh. That's all the apology I need. Her back shaking a bit? Oh, Shiro, you softie. And she used the first name.
行け！アーチャーは俺が抑える。 お前が教会に入るぐらいまでは意地でも抑える。
Go. I'll keep Archer busy. I'll keep him here at least until you make it to the church. All right, Archer, time to kill me. Time to fulfill your dream and kill me. I control my breathing and turn the gears of the engine. Ah, the gears, as it were. The gears of the timeline. Or the gears of the engine that produces your swords and your reality marble. Ah, yes, the two lines instead of the turning them all on, as it were. I feel great. Do you? Because you know you're about to die and you have that self-hatred? That why you feel so great? Or because you know that version of you isn't going to kill Rin, even if she does die some other way? I should be able to project his swords in this state. You're still not going to be able to keep up with him, though. And given how much he wants to kill you and the perfect opportunity he's being given...
ありがとう。ごめん、シロ。
Thanks. I'm sorry, Shiro. Tosaka runs. Archer lets her go as if he has no interest in her. Well, I think he has an interest in her, but not the type of interest he's most having at the moment.
上出来だ。無能は無能なりに身をわきまえたか。
Well done. It seems you understand your own powers. He admits an intent to kill. Mm-hmm.
トレースオン。
I still think that's a lost opportunity. The fact that they didn't say trace on when they first started to fight against each other. Later on in the timeline. I remember thinking, like, I guess the idea is that it's showing the separation between them. And then maybe later on they could fight Gilgamesh together. And then they would trace on at the same time to show the growth. But they don't do that. You know, I still think, even if they weren't going to say it at the exact same time, it could have been like one of them says trace on, then the other one says trace on as they start the fight. And they didn't, and grumbles. Anyways, trace on. I project his twin swords. The battle should be decided in an instant. If it's going to be decided in an instant, you're about to lose, buddy. I only see Archer in the back of Tosaka running to the church. Uh-huh. What are you feeling, buddy? Okay. There's the instant. Was it over in one blow or was it able to last a few seconds? The battle is ended and I look up the sky powerlessly. Mm-hmm. I mean, Future Shiro is sort of, in a way, like Gilgamesh, though he's definitely more tactical in his fighting. So even if you were to think of him as similar to Gilgamesh, A, you don't have all the magical energy that you got from Rin yet. You also don't have the confidence and haven't opened your network. So, yeah, there was never really a chance here. And Future Shiro seems at his prime right now, more or less. He's getting plenty of energy from casters, so... The battle is ended and I look up the sky powerlessly. Mm-hmm. A gray cloud is overhead. Uh-huh. It should rain soon. Oh. I wonder if that is intentional. I think I'm going to double check in a second. But for now, it'll rain soon. What? Rain Rin's tears? When she finds out you're dead? Or rain the tears of the blood? Maybe Rin Shiro's tears as he kills his past self. The sky is near, and the clouds block my way like a wall. The sky being the path you should have taken, the path you want to take, your future, as it were.
遠坂武士に
Tosaka, please be safe. Doubtful. Future Shiro might be able to get her out of there, but Caster can probably command spell him if she's paying attention, which she should have the ability to pay attention. So they're probably both fucked would be my assumption. And at this point, Future Shiro killing his past self and then not like vanishing from existence, which, you know, he was holding out hope might happen, though he doubted it. I doubt he would even care that much to save Rin. I mean, he might try, desperately try, but it probably wouldn't work in this condition. Interesting, though, that Lancer's main goal was apparently to kill Archer anyways. And so that's why he was cooperating with them. So I wonder what Kirai's backup plan would have been. Probably just use Gilgamesh, throw Gilgamesh at him, because Gilgamesh is pretty strong. Maybe if Gilgamesh and Lancer teamed up, they could probably deal with, you know, the lot of them. I could see that. Maybe. Maybe. It'd be tough. Tosaka, please be safe. My body is burning. I hear the sound of flames from the church. Flames? What does that mean? Is Rin doing something? with flames, or is that Caster? Caster had like fire-ish attacks, right? I believe so. She might have engulfed Rin in flames then. Oh. The sun is too far away for my outstretched hands. Also, flames might just be metaphorical for him, symbolic for death in general, because it goes back to the flames of his past that he's trying to get away from, so he's just brought back to the flames, possibly. Sun is too far away for my outstretched hand. I like that. It looks like the time from 10 years ago. Where you gave up on life, you've given up again? Or have you always still given up? Until you can reaffirm your future stance when future Shiro forces you to. Alright, there we go. I like that. I like that. Sure. Roars!
はい。意味がない意味がないと思われ続けて早23回。タイガー道場の時間である。
Even though people have said this Tiger Dojo is meaningless, it's already in its 23rd session. They do count, huh? It's interesting that they, I wonder if they count as they wrote these just after the game was over, or if they wrote them in general, and then went back and changed a couple to insert the numbers. It seems like the kind of thing you write as you go, but maybe it was all after the fact. Hiccups. Just slightly. Oh, the background is darker. Interesting. I wonder if there's meaning to that. It's already in its 23rd session.
さて、唐突ではありますが、今回でタイガー道場は第2部最終回である。
Oh, my Japanese knowledge might have just helped me understand something. Well, this is a sudden announcement, but this is the last Tiger Dojo in part 2. That's not true. There's one more. You liar. The one that you don't want to deal with, that Ely gives me the hint for. It says Bazaka written written in katakana on the wall. I don't mean the scrolls, but next to the scrolls, you can see Bazaka written out in katakana. And one of the scrolls is also X'd out. I don't know if the scrolls are different or changed. Does that mean Berserker is going to show up in this Tiger Dojo? It wasn't voiced, so probably just had placeholders. Yeah, I guess. It just depends on if they made everything else first or not, but... Oh, you mean the number wasn't voiced? I wasn't paying enough attention to the voice. So maybe not. I know the original version wasn't voiced, so I don't know if that's what you mean, but... This is the last Tiger Dojo in part 2! The scrolls say Taiga and Ilya. Is Ilya crossed out? Is Taiga crossed out? I don't know which is which, but I can read the Bazaka. You mean in the original it was unvoiced? Ah, yes, right. I didn't know if she, like, 23 was unvoiced, if she didn't bother saying 23 or not, because I didn't know the Japanese. I wasn't paying attention for it, but... Huh? But we have one more Tiger Dojo in part 2 according to the schedule. Oh, since Ilya died, she'd be crossed out? Oh, I guess that makes sense, thinking about it like that. Oh, rip Ilya. We have... that's one way to show she's dead without her actually being dead. Which is nice, because she gets to still be around in the dojos. We have one more dojo in part 2 according to the schedule. The one that Taiga would rather didn't exist. She thinks it's too stupid for sure to run into it. Interesting. They're flat out saying that in part 2 that's going to be the last dojo, which makes me, that might just mean there's a crazy amount in Timeline 3 then. Because I was thinking that maybe the ones from the Rin Path, the special secret Rin Path, there could be like an extra Tiger Dojo or 2 there. But maybe those, maybe there isn't an extra Tiger Dojo or 2 there, you know, separate from ones we already have. If they're saying it's the last one of part 2, because that should still theoretically be part of part 2, but... Huh? We have one more Tiger Dojo in part 2 according to the schedule.
第24回の言葉言うな
Don't talk about the 24th one. Love it.
あのようなデッドエンドを迎える軟弱者に用はないなり
See, this I can get behind, because it's not necessarily spoiling the death, but, you know, there's all kinds of ways that you could think of as, what a weakling death. I have no business with a weakling that will die that way. Weak of soul. It gave a pretty... Not only did it give a good hint in the Tiger Dojo, but it also gave a fun little glimpse into potentially some Timeline 3 stuff, I would assume. So I'd say it's a more meaningful Tiger Dojo than the one where, you know... the But Thou Must Caster choice where you choose to go early to the church, which had a fun Tiger Dojo, but I think the actual substance there was a bit lacking. I have no business with a weakling that will die that way. Oh,
よくわかんないけど、今回が事実上の2部最終回なわけですね。
I don't quite get it, but this is the last Tiger Dojo of Part 2?
そうよ。
Yup.
一部最終回では2部からタイガー道場がパワーアップするなんてデマが流れたけど、今回はもう騙されないわ。
I remember that, and I'm disappointed a bit that it wasn't powered up. It does seem like some of the, like, there's a lot more pizzazz going on in these ones in general, but you didn't move to a new location, which you said would happen. There was a rumor on Part 1's final Tiger Dojo that this corner would be powered up, but I won't fall for something like that this time.
道場はこのまま。私と弟子1号だけでつつましく運営される小楽園を維持します。
We'll remain here alone and preserve this modest paradise. Oh, you're humping.
何やら反骨の層。
I feel something rebellious. Oh, what is it, Elia? Oh, I love when you give that look to me. I mean, I like Elia's sprites in general, but especially in the Tiger Dojo. Her looks, they're so good.
この悪魔っ子、また何かよからぬことを企んでいるのではなかろうか。
Could this devil child be plotting something again?
あら、それは誤解よ。
Oh, that's a misunderstanding. Oh, maybe she's plotting the hints that she's going to give in the 24th Tiger Dojo? But no, she already accepted the 24th Tiger Dojo doesn't exist, so...
ただ、第3部は今までみたいにタイガに付き合ってあげられないから、寂しい思いをさせるかなって。
That's what I like to hear. I want a lot of Elia. Even though the Tiger Dojo is apparently... It seems like it's going to have a lot of entries in Timeline 3. The idea that she's not around much, I like to hear that. That's what I want to hear. She wasn't around much in Timeline 2, so that makes me happy. I'm just thinking that I might make you feel lonely because I can't be here often during Part 3. There, good. That's the... That's a spoiler I could get behind.
道場に来られないとは、まさかイリアちゃん？
You can't come to the dojo? Could it be Ilia-chan?
本編で出番が多くなって忙しくなるの。
Yep, I'll be busy taking part in the main storyline. Thank goodness. We still have to find out after all that, you know, that her and Shiro kind of share a father, kind of, sort of. They haven't brought that up, so I figured as much, but it's still nice for them to tell me anyways. You know, help to reaffirm my suspicions. Because the whole thing about, like, oh, I'm sure there's going to be a lot to do with how Kirei killed Rin's father, and, you know, they mentioned it, and then moved on. So, like, in the back of my mind, it's like, oh god, what if it's that too? What if Ilia's not around that much, and it's one of those they mention it and move on bullshits? So, you know, this is still reaffirming. It's reassuring. I'll be busy taking part in the main storyline.
リンルートではこういう結果になったけど、3部こそは私の真骨頂だもの。
It ended up like this in the Rin round, but part 3 is where my true worth comes out. Good. I want that true worth. I'm thirsting for it.
その分、タイガはますます出番が減るみたいね。
Oh, it seems you'll be taking fewer parts in the main story, because maybe it's serious right from the get-go. She is the clown that the game tends to shoo out in the later part of the game. In Timeline 2, she got shooed out when Caster, you know, abducted her and she was unconscious for basically the whole thing. In Timeline 1, if memory serves, she was hospitalized by Shinji's blood curse thing. So she had to, and then she was looking into everyone else and making sure everyone was okay. So she wasn't around as much. She was, I think she still showed up sometimes. I don't remember exactly. But in general, they both, you know, they shoot out the Taiga clown towards the later part. So maybe this is implying that, you know, she won't be around for a while. They'll shoot out the clowns immediately. Serious right from the start. Which, I mean, I still want some clownage. I want some clownage. At least there's a lot of Taiga dojos, so that's a decent amount of clownage. But, you know, in the main story, some clownage would be nice. It seems to be taking fewer parts in the main story.
ご愁傷様。これがヒロイン候補と ヒロイン候補にさえなれなかったものとの格の違いよ。
My condolences to you. This is the difference between a heroine candidate and one who was not even considered to be a candidate. Oh, Taiga. Not considered to be a candidate. I mean, I wouldn't have really thought of her as a candidate either, given her relationship as Shiro's guardian that Kiritsugu wants him to be. Like, that's... I mean, I thought it was weird at first for Shiro to smooch a ghost with Saber. I got into it after a while, but Taiga would be even weirder. I can still see an alternate reality where it happens, but not now. Not until Shiro's a good bit older. It would still be weird too, but I could see it. It'd be weird, but not now. Definitely not now. There's a difference between a heroine candidate and one who is not even considered to be a candidate.
まあヒロインになっても友達のままでいてあげるから安心なさい。そうね、私が本編を支配した暁には召使いぐらいには。
Well, how nice. Well, you can rest assured that I'll still be your friend even after I become a heroine. Let's see. When I take over the storyline, I can make you my servant. Sure. Sure, we can just add all of them to, Shiro will be your servant, Berserker's your servant, you want Archer as a servant, Taiga as the servant, we'll just get everyone to be Ilya's servants, it'll be the best war. Hiya!
何するのよ。こっちは善意で言ってあげてるのに。
What are you saying? I'm saying this is out of good faith. Oh, for a second when you wrote that, Vanim Storm, I wasn't sure what you meant. Taiga Archer? Oh, you mean when Shiro grows up, maybe Shiro Taiga could be a thing. So, Archer Taiga. I don't even think Archer would have had to have grown up that much. And if he did, Taiga would definitely have grown up somewhat too, or at least look grown up. But yeah, I don't know about Taiga Archer though. That still seems a little off to me. Though I think I could believe more in that than I can normal Shiro and Archer. That'd be so weird. If Archer had someone like Taiga still in his life, I don't know if he'd gotten that cynical. At least if Taiga had stayed as chipper as she was, so hard to say. What are you doing? I'm saying this out of good faith.
いらぬ。こんなに苦しいのなら愛などいらぬ。
I don't need it. I don't need love if it's this painful.
つうか貴様弟子失格。ヒロインになんてなったら眩しくて直視できぬ。
Actually, you're disqualified to be my student. You'll be too bright in my eyes if you become a heroine. Who do you want in your eyes instead, then? Do we get someone to replace Ilya in the Taiga Dojo, I wonder? Don't answer that. But... Huh. They're really hyping up Ilya's role, which makes me happy, but I still feel like it's likely the Sakura route. Maybe there's like a plot twist Ilya route in there. Maybe that's the secret 5th ending, is the secret Ilya ending. I would love it. But who would replace the Taiga Dojo if that is true, and if it's mainly Sakura, but Ilya could be there, then it wouldn't be Sakura in the Taiga Dojo. Shinji, of course. Shinji will be in the Taiga Dojo. I solved it. Get out! Get out! Replace Ilya with Kirei? Oh, of course. He would be the best substitute. Kirei and Taiga? Maybe Kazuki. Taiga did say, like, they said that Taiga, like, was drinking buddies with Kazuki in Timeline 2's epilogue, so there could be some chemistry there. Maybe Issei could randomly show up in the Taiga Dojo. I don't want Ayako in the Taiga Dojo because I actually want to have a real role in the main story. So, get out, Lan! Just gloating every time. Yeah, Kirei. You died again, you fool. That would be Kirei. Now I wish you could, like, customize the Taiga Dojos. Oh, I mean, I know Taiga, I guess, is Taiga, but oh, that sounds like such a fun idea. I'm quitting as well. You stupid Taiga, I won't forgive you even if you apologize, Baka!
行っちゃった。
She's gone. Well, she comes up for a little last second, the 24th. The question is, will it be the last one? While wearing sweatpants and a hoodie? Kirei wearing sweatpants? Oh, man. I mean, they do tend to have alternate costumes in here. Now I want to see all of them just for the alternate costumes. But is Ilya really gone forever? No, Ilya, I loved you so much. I mean, I guess it's okay if you're around in the main story, but you're so fun in the Taiga Dojos, and you have such a skimpy outfit that I appreciate. You're fired. I quit. She's gone.
まあ これも運命。可愛い弟子がヒロインに返り咲けるというのなら、
Well,
あえ
this is
て
fate.
憎まれ役となるのも死の役目。
If my cute student will become a heroine, it is my role as her master to be hated. They're really hyping this up because Ilya she had a decent role in Timeline 1. Like, obviously, you know, not as much as, say, Saber's role, but it was decently substantial, so, I'm very excited for the idea that, you know, it'll be that much more important. That sounds fun to me. Okay, cool. It is my role as her master to be hated. Maybe in the initial fight with Berserker, Shiro's just a boss and saves her immediately. Like, maybe Shiro's, like, gets through to her immediately because he's got timeline knowledge and he knows Ilya can be saved. And so he ends up getting through to her right away in their initial fight. And then right away, Ilya's on their side. I could see that being a thing if they're implying this heavily that Ilya is a friend or this important right from the start. Maybe. That would show, you know, that Shiro's just going to be saving everyone. This is the Shiro saves everyone route. Maybe. And he starts with Ilya. He doesn't have to save everyone. As long as he saves Ilya, I'm happy. But I think it could be a he saves everyone route. That could be what he's leading up to. The idea of that's why people die in the previous routes. Like Shinji dies in Timeline 1, Ilya dies in Timeline 2, and Kazuki as well. Maybe they're building up to the idea of, you know, Shiro being this hero, finally actualizing that in Timeline 3 and saving everyone. Maybe. This is my fate. If my cute student will become a heroine, it is my role as her master to be hated.
よし、戦えイリアちゃん。さくらちゃんを蹴落として、
Oh, there it is.
奪うがいいさ。
That's on the nose. Fight Ilya-chan. Go after Sakura-chan and take her spot as the heroine. I mean, I'd already been predicting it, but that's pretty on the nose, yeah. You go, Ilya-chan. I want her to succeed. I mean, okay, this is hard, because I like Sakura. When I started the game, I was like, you know, I normally don't like characters that seem like Sakura, but I like Sakura for some reason, and I still stand by that. There's something about her. But she's barely around. And I want to say I like her more than Rin, but it's hard to say that because she's not around enough. I even want to say I like her more than Saber. Maybe she's best waifu of the main waifus, but I still like Ilya more. So it's like, my two favorite waifus fighting for the spot of the waifu of choice in the final timeline. I guess that's fitting, the final timeline, though, to save the best for last, as it were. But then what about Ayako, the other secret 5th best waifu? And that's not even counting Neko, the secret 6th best waifu. Fight Ilya-chan, go after Sakura-chan, take her spot as the heroine.
もうこんなところには戻ってくるんじゃないわよ。だって私の出番が減っちゃうからね。
Perfect. Don't come back here, because you'll take away some of my roles.
けど、2部最後のまともな道場が一人っきりっていうのも寂しいな。
That's not quite true. And also, you admitted that there's a last Tiger Dojo, or you counting this one as just finishing off by yourself. It's kind of lonely that I have to do the last Tiger Dojo of Part 2 by myself.
寂しいけど頑張る。一人でも戦え君。
I'm lonely, but I'll do my best. Fight alone, me.
さて、今回のデッドエンドはちょっと特殊です。
Well, this dead end is a bit special. The next route is my favorite. Well, if it's the final route, which would be my assumption, I think it's pretty likely for it to be the favorite. Not always true, but there's definitely reason to think so. Because if it actually is forced to resolve everything, then there can't be any like, but what about Ayako? I know there's got to be something with Sakura in the background, you know, etc., etc. Well, this dead end is a bit special. Why?
東坂さんと四郎だけで戦いを挑むのは無策
Oh, right.
勝てるわけがありません。
That's right, you actually have to give me advice. Forgot about that part. It's too reckless to enter battle with just Shiro and Tosaka-san. There's no way you can win.
含むところはあるでしょうが、やってきた協力者と素直にシェイクハンドしちゃいなさい。
I know you might have something against him, but go ahead and shake hands with the cooperator that appeared.
そもそも協力者がやってこなかった君。
For those of you for whom the cooperator didn't even appear. Wait, what? Oh, this might be doing that thing where it's accounting for the Rin route where Lancer never shows up, maybe? Maybe that's what this is. Because it's the same Tiger Dojo, but it's playing double duty? Okay. That would be my guess here. For those of you for whom the competitor, because they also did this too, with an Unlimited Blade Works ending, where it said, okay, if you're on Unlimited Blade Works, simply choose differently. If you're on the Fate route, then actually do the Fate route, and you'll get to the Unlimited Blade Works stuff later. So that's different. Those of you from the competitor didn't even appear.
主人公失格。目の前で死にかけてる女の子を助けないでどうする？
You're a failure as a main character. How can you not save a girl that's about to die in front of you? Are you talking about Ilya or Rin? Fascinating. Okay, there's going to be a decent amount of change then, if I'm right about this. How can you not save a girl that's about to die in front of you? I wonder if that's Ilya or Rin they're talking about, because if Ilya can be saved... I mean, it's the Rin route, though, so maybe it's Rin. But Shiro saved Rin a couple times already, so what's the special part about saving Rin in the good Rin route? I don't know. I hope it's Ilya, because even though I've been told... I'm greedy. Even though I've been told we're going to get a lot of Ilya in Timeline 3, if they can give me more Ilya in Timeline 2, I will not be unhappy. How can you not save a girl that's about to die in front of you?
お城での出来事とその顛末はずっと鳴りを潜めていた。
Oh, of course, it's
ある
Ryder,
原因を吐露
obviously.
させる大事なエピソードなんだから必ず通過しないとダメ。
The event at the castle is an important part of the story that reveals a cause that's been hidden up to now. You have to see it! Okay. It's an important part of the story, you say. An important part reveals a cause. Or is this going back even further? Like, maybe we see this Tiger Dojo even if we never go to the castle. There's a choice even further back? I don't know. A cause... Well, the fact that they're saying save a girl. Are they referring to Ilya with that? Like, you didn't go to the... You could have tried to save her? You failed to save her, though, if that's the case. A cause that's been hidden up until now. Are we talking about Shiro and his motivations? Indeed, The event at the castle is an important part of the story that reveals a cause that has been hidden up until now if you have to see it. Interesting. I wonder if they mean Ilya's cause, or because of her backstory with Berserker that I felt was a little ill-placed. Or if they mean the fact that Shiro, you know, Rin was getting slightly to the heart of Shiro's issues, kinda, sorta, but not really, because that only kinda, sorta went somewhere, kinda, sorta.
遠坂さんルートはある意味主人公ルートでもあるからね。きっかり問題を解決しちゃいなさい。
Tosaka-san's route is also the main character's route. I mean, you mean Shiro's route? Because it's future Shiro's route? I guess that's sort of the foreshadowing. So go ahead and solve the problem. The main character, or do you just mean Shiro's route? I mean, I guess you can say it's the main character's route of a sort, because he's coming over, because he's dealing with his future self. I suppose that's true. It's double duty route. You know, if anything, it's not enough of Tosaka's route. Maybe the Tosaka version, when you go full-on Tosaka route, we get a bit more of that juiciness. We'll see. We'll go ahead and solve the problem, so go ahead.
さて、これで今回はおしまいね。
Well, this is it.
遠坂さんルートもいよいよクライマックス。
Tosaka-san's route is entering its climax! Indeed it is.
ここからはデッドエンドのない怒涛の展開が待ってるけど、ここでちょっと朗報オーバー。
There will be a series of fast events with a dead end after this. Yeah, you can't even dead end when Shiro fights himself. That's how determined past Shiro is. He can't even make a choice that leads him to a dead end there. That's crazy. You'd think there'd be something in there that could lead him to a dead end. And there's also nothing in the, aside from this, there's nothing in the caster battle that can be a dead end either. It's kind of fascinating that, you know, Shiro's just so determined, of the right mind, maybe, I mean, against future Shiro is one thing, but also when dealing with caster too, to an extent, at least once he makes the right choice with Lancer. There'll be a series of fast events at a dead end after this, but let me give you one piece of good advice. Good news.
遠坂さんルートではトゥルーエンドとグッドエンドが用意
Oh,
さ
there
れ
we
てい
go.
ます。
Tosaka-san's route has a true end and a good end. Neko-chan's the main character. Of course, Tom's Tom. Alright, so I guess the idea is that the true end, the one where we see future Shiro and, you know, how that all happens, maybe that's the true end because that's the one, because there's timeline knowledge, clearly. Maybe this is, the true end is the one Timeline 3 follows up on, but maybe there's also a good end where you get closer with Rin and it's all happy dunky, and that's not the one Timeline 3 follows up on, but it is happier of an ending. I can see that, and I don't mind it at all. If anything, I kind of enjoy, and it's not like the ending of the Timeline 2 was sad or anything. Not overly sad. But I actually like it when, if there's like a good ending and then the bad ending is just a bad ending that goes nowhere. I enjoy when, if there is like a really good ending. If, sometimes the game continues on, I just enjoy when side endings or whatever can be their own thing without needing to be like, oh, if this is the best one, this is obviously the one we follow up on. So enjoy when they follow up on, other endings. I've actually said for a long time, even though that this ending of Timeline 2, the true ending, isn't necessarily a bad ending, I like the idea of like, even something that was a bad ending to maybe have a sequel to that bad ending, like a game that just has like a good ending and then some bad endings, for the sequel to like not even follow up on the good ending, which would be a big spoiler, but like the idea behind it fascinates me. So when stuff like this happens, I enjoy it. Toseka-san's route has a true end and a good end.
どんなものかは言えないけど、分岐条件はどのくらい一途だったか。オンリーワンか両手に花か。それは戦いが終わってからのお楽しみ。
There are a couple ways the ending could have been better, for sure. For example, Ilya living. I can't tell what each of those is about, but the condition for seeing them is how faithful you were. To Rin? It's either only one or flowers on both hands. Oh. I think I see what you mean. Either focusing just on Rin or balancing Rin and Saber. You get to find out after the battle. Only one or flowers on both hands. I think that's what you mean. It's balancing Saber and Rin versus just focusing on Rin. Kind of like how in Timeline 1 where you try to get Rin as well, you get a bad ending. But in that case, it's a real bad ending. harem. Or maybe the other one is Future Shiro. You focus way too much on Future Shiro that you don't get to spend enough time with Rin. You get to find out after the battle.
それじゃあみんな、タイガー道場第3部で待ってるよ。
Alright, everyone will be waiting in the Part 3 Tiger Dojo. Oh yes, because we don't want to count the 24th one. Shiro has 2 hands, says Taiga. I don't know if I believe that. Sounds hard to believe. Alright, yeah, so we got the 23rd one there. So now we have the 21st one. The 21st one would have been... My memory's trying to remember here. Right, because the 21st one was the one with Castor. Yeah, so the 24th one is the one where Gilgamesh, you pull yourself into Gilgamesh. 23rd is the one where you don't side with Lancer. Good end's a bad end's a lie. 21st would be the one where Castor turns you into a puppet. 18th would be the one where Issei shanks you. What was 16th? What was a bad ending that I got before Issei shanked me? I'm trying to remember. What did I get before Issei shanked me? Because the Issei shank me one was this one, 8th day. So if we go further back... Oh, right! The other one I got was when Rin killed me. Because I made the wrong choice. Of course. Go for both, get none? Yeah, that seems to be oh yeah, that seems to be the idea, but at least with Rin, she's willing to friend zone. With Saber, I'm gonna kill you, bitch. Go for both, I kill you. But you still kind of get neither with Saber anyways. It's just, you get to be more happy with each other. Saber doesn't kill you, and then goes back in time. If you have the potential of being with Rin after the fact, Saber will kill you. That's the one that got me, that's right, where the Rin one, where she does that. Which means, alright, now here's where we can start filling in holes. The number of ends we have left to get would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, in my mind, that would be, I think there's one is going to be in the Berserker fight, the initial one, before we fight Rin. The 17th one would be, let's see, what happens in this route? In the Castor fight, maybe? Yeah, before Issei shanks us would be the Castor fight. So there could be a bad end there. In the 19th and 20th, which would be before this one, 19th and 20th, there could be a bad end when Saber gets mind controlled. It's possible there's a bad end there. There's also possibly a bad end in the Kazuki confrontation. And then the 22nd bad end would be... Oh, would probably be when you confront... They're just all the... They're all the confrontations with Castor, basically, and one with Berserker, would be my assumption. Yeah, something like that. Alright. So I know the endings I want to try now. In fact, I'm going to write this down because... it'd be pretty hypocritical Saber. What, to kill Shiro for 2-timing? Oops. Okay, actually, I'm going to write down my ideas right now. With the same Rin hint list. Let's see here. There's 5 more bad ends. So, 1. Let's see here. Berserker fight. 2. Castor first fight. These are my guesses. Castor first fight. 3 would be probably, what was it? Yeah, 2 is Castor fight. 3 and 4 are probably a combination of Kazuki and then Archer at the Church. No, Archer at the Church is after. No, Archer. Wait, what? I've confused myself. Yeah. Right, because that would have been before Archer at the Church. Right, 22 would be Archer at the Church. 20 is Kazuki, 19 is Mind Control. No, 20 is Mind Control, 19 is Kazuki. It doesn't matter. Order. 3 Kazuki fight. I could be wrong, but I'm writing down my guesses because I think we're done for the day. I want to try to hit these all off, though, before I'm done tomorrow. 4. 3 is Kazuki fight. 4 is Saber stolen. And then 5 would be Archer switch sides at Church. Archer switch sides Church. That could be wrong. The other possibility would be... The other possibility is that it's just... There's a choice in the Gilgamesh fight where you could try to save Elia and die, but no, not really. I don't know, because I feel like I definitely would have tried to save Elia if they gave me a choice, so I don't think they did. I think we just had to watch it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there was a choice there. And there was a way to not die. Or die, as it were, because we did not die. So maybe there was a way to die. But these are my ideas for now. But I'll keep that in the back of my head. So, here's something I want to do then. Because I think we're basically done for the day. But, because we're basically done for the day is why I want to try something else. It may cause my game to mess up. And if it does, well, I'm done for the day, basically. But... what happens if I load this save file? This is a Fate timeline executable, and I'm in the it should be cannot load. I'm in the UBW timeline. This is from fighting Castor in timeline 1 where we were facing our Scullies, I believe. So I just want to see what happens. It might mess my stuff up, but I'm gonna try to load. Load. Oh, that's fun. Okay, it didn't crash my game though. Let's do this one. Okay, what if I choose the other one? And nobody's surprised. Oh, fun. Wait. Text is just garbage data. Skip and don't skip? It might be skip scene or don't skip scene. No, don't skip scene. Don't skip scene? Skip. Wait. Don't skip. Skip. Okay, that's fun. It reads variables that don't exist. That's fun for me, though, because I was like, oh, what could it be? Yeah, it's just something that's left over, but most of them are can't load, so it's something they forgot to, you know, put in as something that can't be loaded. Yeah, one more thing I want to add in. I added in this picture of Saber, because I really like it. I didn't have this saved, but I saved it because I like it. I also added in, because, you know, Ilya's best girl, I added in 2 pictures of Ilya with Berserker as well. There's one more I want to add, and I really like the pose of Saber after she jumps out of the window. No, not, you get thrown out of the window by Ryder, and you use the command spell, and Saber shows up. I really like the pose she has there, which would be after these. I'll probably set that up later, but I can't do it now because I have to load up the Fate file. The other one would be, just to humor myself, this is also a Fate file. Okay. No. No. This one. This one? This one. This one. This one? This one. This one. This one. It's got to be the bottom one. Bottom every time. Okay. Oh, what could we save? Could we save the gibberish? Hold on. I'm gonna... sure. Let's just save the gibberish. Gibberish save? It skips all dialogue, so you only have choices. Yeah, seems like it. That would make sense now that I think about it. For a second, I'm like, is this like a skip scene choice? But no, it has to skip scene. Gibberish save? Can we load gibberish save? 8th day morning training swordsmanship, lifeguard. Does it come out as gibberish in the save? I wonder if you can load this in timeline 1. Like, could I go to this in timeline 1 and load the gibberish? I'm gonna try that at some point. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna try it now. Why not? You know, we don't have much left to go for today. I was gonna stop soon, but I'm in the mood. This is basically the only thing I wanted to do before ending today. So let's load up a real save in case, or even return to top. Experimentation time. All right, now hold a sec. I'm gonna close and open the other executable. Okay. Now it's gonna show nothing. You're gonna see nothing on your screen. Give me a second while I load it up. Because I want to try this, and it's like I'm never gonna have much time to experiment in the Fate executable because there's not much point to going back. I mean, there's point, but I love how seamlessly it transitions and that they both work as the same OBS scene without me having to do any finagling. It makes me so happy. I also really like the fact that after we beat this timeline, we got a nice little, oh, look, you did it screen. I guess maybe the idea is that because Timeline 2 has both, when we do both, we'll get the, oh, look, you did it screen. Because, you know, it changes from the initial, like, Timeline 2 is red, and this changed from, like, green to a yellow. I want the you did it screen for Timeline 2. So I'm definitely gonna, they've given me the hints now, so I'm gonna want to get that Rin route. I don't know exactly if I'm gonna do it right away. I think my plan now is to get all the bad ends first. I think tomorrow I want to do bad end time, and then if we have time, we'll start going to the Rin route, if not Wednesday, but for now, can I load the gibberish save? I want to know if I can load the gibberish save. If it'll come out as gibberish. No, don't skip scene. It's not gibberish. Okay, interesting. Today's training ends with the sunsets. Okay, the save shows up as gibberish, but the gibberish itself does not impede the save. Interesting. Alright, there's one other save I want to make while I'm thinking about it because I want to make the picture. And I could do it while not recording, but I'm going to do it while recording because, you know, screw you. What? Oh boy, command spell time. This is when it was, right? I think so. It broke the scene, but the game was clever enough to just skip it. Alright, summon Saber. Yeah, you gotta summon Saber. If I can get Saber to help me. How are these different? Oh, the other one's like, I can get Saber to help me, but how can I? I don't know. Maybe they're not different. Maybe I'll check how they're different. I'll randomly do a fate check. I assume I would have checked anyways before. I just forgot that I checked. Shiro first using his command spell here is really nice. It's his first real usage, and I think it's also, no, it's just his first usage period in this timeline, and it's a nice scene for sure. Though I might have called for my sword. I want to get the image. Same moment a winding occurs. It's a great scene. I also want this image. I just want to have it to look at. To be like, oh, that's pretty. Ugh. Pretty saber summon. She looks intense. Oh yeah, that looks nice. Okay. So we are probably basically done for the day, right? Yeah, I wanted to look into the gibberish save. The gibberish is still there. It's fun to keep it. I'll keep it for now. But I'm not gonna bother. Yeah, so that's my plan. I've wrote down where I think the other bad endings are going to be, and I'm going to try to find them. But obviously I'm not going to find them right now, because nothing is loadable. Because I'm on the wrong executable. Oh, here's a thought, though, actually. These are Timeline 2 saves, but they're probably pre-choice, so it allows you to load them. However, then we get to this Kirei moment. This is from... this is can't loadable because you don't get a choice to get killed by Berserker, essentially. You don't get to refuse the call here. However, these aren't loadable because, you know, Archer's in the fight. But then, if we go here, this is still, this is loadable from Timeline 1, so I guess it's just the reverse, where there's a few blank spots in Timeline 1 for Timeline 2 as well. Potentially, because this choice definitely shouldn't be anything, right? Telephone Murder Fuji is a Timeline 2 scene, I believe. Whoa! Oh no, it works! That's right, it works because it'll just set you on the bad ending. Because there's a bad ending in the Fate executable, of course, that's right. So it's just setting you on the Fate executable. I can see that. Alright. I do want to follow up a little more on that and see, I don't know if there's anything specifically different. I forgot about that, but I might do that. Not now. But tomorrow I want to, do the bad endings. And then maybe if I have extra time, depending on how much time I have, I might follow up a little bit on that. I don't think there's going to be too much different. And the Tiger Dojo is the same. But I am a little curious about, like, the fact that he doesn't get a choice. I'm wondering if he just chooses the thing that's wrong, or if there's a little more difference to it. So I might play along with that route for a little bit. Maybe. It's something I want to look into. But, the rest are not loadable. Well, there's this, but this isn't Timeline 2. This is Taitoru, the English. It's not the real thing, you know. It's that thing. So that's it, I guess. Yeah, here's the saves from Fate of me on the UBW route. And here's like, what? I do want to follow up on this, yes, at some point. I'm going to want to follow up on this. But I'll probably look for more bad ends first. I don't know if I want to try to get the Rin True route first, or bad ends, or try to follow up on this first. I'll probably follow up on this first. Okay, yeah, that sounds like my plan. I guess I didn't need to explain my exact plan to the YouTube audience, but I did anyways. I hope you're thankful. The video's over now, there's not much reason to continue. Stop recording, see you next time. Still no outro phrases. I haven't said that in a while, have I? Well, I still don't have any. You're welcome. Thank you. What? Why am I thanking you? I don't know. It's over. Thank you for watching, because, you know, that's cool.